The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any other agency, organization, employer, or company. The content provided in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. All discussions of crimes, accusations, or legal matters should be considered light unless proven in a court of law. Always seek the advice of a qualified professional with any questions you may have regarding a particular matter. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
I'm going to do this like thing. Ooh.
Yeah. So, I guess we should start with, so you're a survivor of domestic abuse, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And
yes,
the man in question is incarcerated right now. We're going to put him to the side for a moment and what he's doing right now. And I want you to start at the beginning, because you didn't start with a lunatic. No,
right.
No one. It's like joining a cult. No one joins a cult. They join a good thing. And it's the same with domestic abuse. You're not starting with an abuser. So let's hear how this started.
Well, so I've been divorced a few times. You know, I've had long other stories, you know what I mean? And another time, but I ended up, after I was divorced, I moved to the Cape, you know, and where my dad lived. It was a big community because I'm in recovery from opiates, and it's just like there was a huge community down here. So I worked in one of the best detoxes in the United States, and not for nothing, but I worked there.
And you've been in recovery for a long time now.
Yeah, like 10 years, I think, from opiates. Yeah. So it's like with all that, that's on top of everything else, you know, because once we go through one thing, that doesn't mean that's the only trauma we're going to endure our whole life. But it's almost like you get to talk about one. After that, you just like, everyone just doesn't like, oh, we know, you know. So, and it's like, as a woman, I think we all fucking know we deal with different shit throughout our entire lives, right? That's what happens. So like, I'm dealing with whatever issues I had before prior. And at this time, I felt like I was like a bright light. Like I just was having the best time. I was volunteering at my my middle child, like her school. I worked full time. I helped women, like mothers that were just trying to get sober. And like, you see them when they come in, the condition that they're in, you see them blossom and turn into these great mothers that are like just who they are. It's like magic happens in those situations, whether you want to believe it or not. Like, I've witnessed it. I grew up in it. My dad's an old timer in AA. I knew a family member of his, like I had helped her when she like had lost her child and she didn't want to get sober. It was this whole, you know, I just liked her because she was a rotten little bitch. You know, I just loved her. I still love her. That's her family member. Being around her, I ended up meeting him. That was pretty much it. It was like we met and he just never would leave me alone since. Like, I was with him, obviously, like, but it wasn't to me meant to be anything that serious because I had just like gotten divorced.
How long had it been?
Prior.
Oh, okay, so it's just been a year.
2 years. Yeah.
You met him through someone at AA?
NA. NA. In the halls.
Okay.
Yeah. That was.
And what was that?
Member.
What was that meeting like?
We didn't talk a lot. Do you know what I mean? It was just like one of those things where we just did it. I'm just gonna say it. We just kind of met up and slapped it together and just got it. That was it. I mean, I don't know how to romanticize that. And I was like, but he was I thought it was like persistence. I was like, he's very persistent, but it was really an obsessive. I just like was like, oh my God, he's so cute. Like, and I had never had someone look at me like I was this fucking folklore. Like, that's what he looked at me like. I was just this fucking imaginative like thing that could do no wrong. I didn't mind that. I was like, do that all day. I just love that for me, right? Got along really well. I don't know what's fact or fiction, though. Like, I knew when I met him, he did have a girlfriend. She just happened to be in jail for 30 days. And I wasn't picking him up at his house. I was picking up at her mother's house. You know, I didn't know that. And then it was like, I guess she got out and he was like, shit. And then he ended up moving to where I was. That made it worse. That made me nervous, first of all. He lived an hour away about. So I was like, that's cool. You know, and then when he's like, I'm here, I was like, oh God. So it was almost like couldn't catch my footing to see if I even saw anything in him. But
he love bombed you. He love bombed
you.
Yeah. So when I say what happened when you first met, I mean literally, like you saw him, he was
Literally, I
super
was just like, I was like,
attractive.
he's gorgeous. He's trouble. I don't want to look at him. I don't want him to come near me. And then I kind of like, just like, ease my way over. It just ended up happening. But we had
Right.
already had, when we were younger, I ran away in high school to a house that was it was a two apartments, right? Him and his mom lived in the first one. I never met him, never knew that. But
Oh,
at that
interesting.
time, I was hiding in their attic while he was. So we had just missed each other so many times, like throughout my life, that it was almost like it was bizarre. It's like
Okay.
I felt like he was supposed to be something in my life, and I still do. I still do. I think that circumstances happened. I don't think he was working with a full deck, and I think he was a really good liar. But I'm very understanding with shit when it comes to somebody that's in addiction or not in addiction. Like I could see how it's possible.
Well,
Like
let me
I think
ask you this. Was he doing a lot of things like you have a lot in common and you say you don't know what was lies and what wasn't. So in love bombing and a lot of times in these situations, the person will pretend to have the same interests, the same hobbies,
oh
the
my,
same
yeah,
likes and dislikes,
I'm
all
chewing gum.
this.
You're a type of gum. I'm using your slang. I was like, you're 6'2", almost 300 something pounds. Like maybe that's a little. You should be using my slang. Do you know what I mean? Like he would say that it just was like sometimes it was too much. Like my spirit could feel it, but I just went with it because it was nice. Like to have that attention and the fact that he was so good looking, very docile and kind of shy. He looked at the ground like Eeyore. And I wasn't like I want to make him feel better. I didn't like think in my head I'm gonna fix this man. I was just like, Jesus, has nobody ever told him to fucking look up when he walks? Like, what are you fucking ashamed of? Like, what do you do? But I think it's like the puppy shit, like that, like victimhood that he doesn't get it. He's a psychopath,
Preying
so he
on your
doesn't care.
empathy.
Yeah, and it worked for a while,
So how long did that go on for?
a year, almost 2 years.
So
Yeah.
he was pretty chill for 2 years, just
Yeah.
reflecting back
Well,
to you
he went to
everything you
jail.
wanted
Well,
to
he did go
see.
to jail at one point for a driving offense because he relapsed. He's a habitual driving offender, mind you. He's never had a permit. You should never be driving a car, running from the cops, because you've got drugs or you're doing something wrong. And so he owed a year. And I was like, all right, we'll go do your year.
How long after you first met him before he was escaping that relationship and coming to where you are?
30 days.
Okay. That's yeah. Mm-hmm. But
Mm,
you let him be, and like
right.
you had red
Well, he was
flags.
already here. He was already here, and then told me I'm at my aunt's house. Like
Mm.
that was still like a half hour away. I'm like, he doesn't have a car. But then I'm like, you're not my responsibility. Like you know what I mean? Like I didn't sign up for this, so I did stick to my guns, and I think that's why he beats me senseless and stalks the shit out of me.
So the first year or two in, you're happy and things are good. Other than
Ish,
he's
yeah. He's a lying,
incarcerated
cheating,
for part of
fucking
it.
bag of shit. Yeah.
Okay. So what happened when you started to notice things shift?
When I started saying like, hey, I don't want to be with a guy that lies, like I'm a grown up. I've like been in marriages that worked until it didn't, but it wasn't because of that, like when we split. Like it was like a well thought out. We were communicating for the most part, one of the marriages anyways, but it wasn't like on this level of like, you say no, don't come to my house. Like even if they show up still, the second it turns into like they just catch you walking in your house and they're right behind you, or like when you just don't know that was the shit that was like he's just there.
So what
Or
happened? You when did you decide you didn't want to be with him anymore? And was there a catalyst?
well, he's that girl obviously that he was with when we first got together. I don't know if they stopped seeing each other or if they just did, but he pretty much was like, Sara is who I'm with, and that's what it is. But he's still basically in a half. So whatever the thing was, I wasn't in on it. If he told me he's going to
Right.
work, I believed him because what I just wouldn't be. I'm not FBI. I don't care enough to be like in your phone and in your shit. Like I'm kind of cool. I don't want to argue. I don't care. I believe you if you tell me something. So because I'm not up to shit. I think that I started seeing different things. He would get caught. He's not. I don't know. I was gonna say GI Joe, but that's not the right context. That's not the right dude. So fucking Magnum PI.
There
That
you
work?
go.
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, anyway. So I think that I don't even remember the shit. It would just be, I don't like how this makes my spirit feel, dude. And I don't want to be with someone like this. I don't roll like this. I don't want to be arguing. I don't want to be the girl that's like, why didn't you? Like, I don't even want to hear myself talk, right? We should just be cool. I've been divorced twice. Like, if you're not gonna be my friend, dude, we can't chill. Your energy can't be in my fucking house. Like, you're not gonna steal my fucking car, take my debit card, or bring drugs into my house, lying to my face, and then I see you with a needle. And it's like, are you shitting me? Like, I have kids here. Like, I don't. This isn't one of those places. And like, it started being like I didn't have that choice because he shows up anyways. And what do? You eventually you have to call the cops because I can't. I don't know how to deal with that. Like, it's
So
not
you
like
broke
people
up
get
with him.
involved.
How did you break up with him in person? Did you break up with him over the phone? What did you
Yeah, it
say?
was usually like I think the first time I was like really broken. I really broke up with him was like the first incident of when the police came, and I believe that was in it was either 2016 or 2017, and sometimes I don't even remember because there's so many charges that it's like, and because I had concussions and all that stuff. So I told him I think he took my car. I can't remember what he did, but it was something that I was like I lost my mind, and I'm not a yeller. Like I don't like that. I'm because I'm smart. I know how to speak, with just chat. And I said, get the fuck. I just lost my shit. And he threw his hat in my face, like tossed it. So it stunned me. You wouldn't think it would even like hurt like that. And I fell, like I just fell and I kind of like just covered my head and he snapped out of it. And then the next day he came back. He would do this thing where he's like, why do you want to not be with me? Because you're fucking someone else. And like, so he would make a whole but then he escalated. Like you never knew. It was like I can't argue with your thoughts, your own thoughts that you just spoke out into the world. It doesn't make it. I didn't have a chance right away. I'm like, alarms are going off. This is dangerous situation. Like I've never. He reminded me of Mark Wahlberg in the movie Fear, kind of. You know what I mean? But like not like hot scenes like that. You're thinking that you go. It's like the scary shit when they're outside the home.
So just out of the middle of nowhere, this is the first time he does something like
Me
this.
saying no, like I think it
You.
probably built up. It built up a little bit. Me
But
being
he
like, I
had
just
never
don't like
thrown
this.
anything at you or hit you
Never
or
put his
anything like
hands
that.
on me. No, never even
Right.
called me a name.
So that's
He
fucking
still
shocking.
doesn't call me really names at all. He didn't hit me when I was pregnant.
When did you get pregnant?
2017, yeah, because I had her in 2018.
How long had you been together?
We weren't together. It was like got me pregnant while he was like holding me here at my house.
Oh no. So this is after. This is later in the story.
Yeah.
Skipping
This was
ahead.
like, yeah.
Okay.
I know, that's fine. So after that, like the next day, he like was like, I'm fighting him about something that's not true. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I'm the intelligent one in this conversation. I can already know what if something's off. I don't want to know what. Just get the fuck out of my house. And he just lost it. He like threw coffee on me, which I didn't remember until I read the police report. I was like, oh my God, pushed me to the ground. He had steel toe boots on, but when he pushed me, it was a big dog kennel. So he kind of like threw me into the side. I hit my face and then he stomped me on my chest with steel toe boots. And I was like, like, what the fuck is going? It was so quick that like I didn't understand what was happening. Like I just was like, this dude's gonna fucking kill me. And then he's like, he was like crazy and threatened me. And he's like, I'm gonna give you the beating of a fucking lifetime until my mother gets here. And in my mind, I remember being like, what a loser you are. You can't even drive away from the scene. You have to be like, wait till my mom. Like that in my head, I was saying a lot, talking so much shit. Like, look at you. But outside, I wasn't. I was just like, begging him. I never have put my like hands on him or like I just don't do it. Like I'm just not gonna do it, right? And
tell me, not that it matters, but I just want I need.
But they arrested him and charged him. I got out, and he got arrested for that.
What size are you? How tall are you? How much does he
weigh?
I'm
5 feet. I'm 5 feet. I'm like 120 pounds, maybe 127 on a good day.
Miniature person.
Yeah, right. And he's like 6'2". He's like close to 300 pounds. It depends.
So a tiny little fairy woman and
he's massive. Monster. He's massive. He reminds me of the guy in that remember the little like mouse he's holding them. What is the name of it? And he's in jail and Tom Hanks is like the special guy in it. The big dude. He's him, but he's just a Caucasian version. Like he's so big. It's not even muscle. It's just like he's just massive and psychotic. He's a bully. Look, what am I gonna do? Even if I was like Was he intimidated like by the heat? You know, like, no, dude, it's just like, I don't have any rights. You're a hostage. It's what it is. With his kid with you.
Yeah. So the police came.
They always came, and that's when I found out about his record. I had known that when he was younger, like 16, about to be 17, that he got arrested for first-degree murder. He told me the story about it. He was so young. Like he said, he did it. He was found not guilty by a jury and a really good lawyer, but he said he did it. I don't need to make that up. I didn't know anything about this case. I knew everything. I knew everything because he told me. Because he doesn't feel bad. But I didn't realize that at that point. I just understood that when you're young and you live in a really bad area and like there's drugs involved, you're dealing drugs at a young age, your mother's dealing drugs, like shit happens, dude. It's hood life. This is what happens, right? So I have hood compassion where I'm like, you know what? I have a few friends that went away from murder. Like I see the person and I think things happen. Who the fuck am I to judge somebody? And I'm still like that. I'd probably be a little fucking more cautious next time. But that's when I found out he had kidnapping charges of a guy. He had escaped from prison charges. I found out a lot. He did robberies, armed. They were like, he's fucking dangerous.
Do you know
He's dangerous.
what age he started committing crimes that he was actually caught for?
Well, it says at the beginning of his I got his record. It says the beginning of his adult charges.
Oh, right. So you don't have anything prior to adulthood. That's right. You told me that.
Right, juvenile, but I know he was in juvenile for years. I know it because they used to talk about it, and his mother dropped him off there and was like, "Get out," and told him, "I don't want him." She's a dust head, so angel dust. Don't do it, kids, because she's a fucking nightmare. It's 2001 was when it happened. He was 17, but it turned into, because he waited trial for 2 years. He never said a word when he got arrested. So that puts you at a higher stature when you're in prison too, especially if you beat a murder case, right? But then he went and got arrested for kidnapping a drug dealer. He was convicted, like a maximum security prison, 4 years. On the way to go serve the time, he escaped prison transport from the courthouse with 2 court guards, 19 prisoners in the back, shackled and handcuffed, and he escaped. And he got 4 years for that, but it's Massachusetts. They let him serve the 4 years one time. He didn't have to do the 8 years. He's really good looking, guys. I told you. He just has a dimple. That's it.
And that does it.
That's fucking it.
He's a real panty dropper, as they would say.
Well, yeah, apparently.
The thing that I just want to highlight is this is a person that has a record as a minor. And we know in psychology that when you're starting these antisocial behaviors at 14, 15, that's cooked in. That's cooked in now. And you're not going to change, and you're not going to get better, and you're not going to seek help. And as we know, incarceration doesn't rehabilitate. Not as there's exceptions to that rule, but the rule is it doesn't.
This is his record. That's his criminal record.
And how old is he?
I think he just turned 40 in December.
Yeah.
He's a year older than me. But that's pages of this. So he went on to commit crimes.
And so he did the kidnapping thing and had served time for that prior to meeting you. 4
years,
And he shouldn't have been allowed to meet you, and this story should have ended there, and we shouldn't be having this conversation. Just to highlight.
It's all violent. It's a lot of violent crimes that he was committing before he met me. I mean, he already had kidnapping. He had restraining orders, but in Massachusetts, like, I can't see that part. I just know from my court proceedings with him, they revealed something. I don't know if it's an active one against him, but he's had others on him from other people. That my friend has had one on him as well, because she was just trying to like save my life. Yeah, it goes from the second he got out of jail, he kept committing crimes after. So like he went away from whatever year, so 01. It's just insane. It's insane. I don't know how to not go to like such a dark place where I'm like, yeah, why not? Let him out. Oh my God, he's got an escape from prison charge. Put a fucking GPS, put him on home confinement. He's secure as shit with that machine. You got him. Thank you for the justice, and I'm just going to go on my way.
What is the incentive for them? Because you always want to think like, what the fuck is this? Obviously it's wrong. And usually it's some kind of greed or whatever. Is there a financial kickback for putting people on GPS? Is there more money for the state? Is that, or is it just the laws aren't strict enough, or what the fuck?
Girl, it's from the bottom to the fucking top. Bottom to the top. And the only reason I know that is because I started at the top. I was gonna say the Drake song, but it's the bottom because it happened the last interaction interaction. So the last home invasion that was committed after I'd been broken up with him for 5 fucking years. 3 weeks after that, I was in front of the governor, lieutenant governor, and there was a press conference, and I'm there talking at it. That's the top guy. I think he just like looked and was like, he cried. People were like, oh, fuck him. No, he was like, didn't know what to say. He was like, I failed. And I tried to do this a million times just to get anything done for anybody. And then he went and he got the shit kicked out of him verbally from every county with a bunch of survivors. Yeah, he took it like a champ, Charlie Baker.
So what has he been trying to do, and how come he's not
gone?
able to?
He's gone. Now we have Maura Haley, who's a fucking special treat. And she loves DEI. So, I mean, at this point, can we riddle me that? So we have talked about in females that it's nothing. You know, our AG, our attorney general, she's like the big dog. Her name's Andrea something. I forget. They're all corrupt, I believe. In my mind, I see nothing. And I went in these places. I've talked to them, looked at them, done little Zooms, so we can make laws that nobody's going to give a fuck about, right? I just can't entertain them anymore. Like, I just say, I'm a hostile person to interact with when they're at that level, but it's also the DV organizations as well. And it's also all these intertwined greed, kickback funding, took a knee, didn't hold the line, doesn't give a fuck about women. We've been dying forever. A 15-year-old girl was just killed by her boyfriend yesterday, right? The day before that, it's every day.
And this is in your area.
My state, Massachusetts, yep. Because I got my eye on everybody. What are you doing? And I wouldn't, but our paths have now collided.
When did you meet with the governor?
So I think he was arrested December 20th for something unrelated to me in 2021, because he's always in jail. It hasn't, he's in jail no matter what. He got arrested for driving and drugs, but he also had a warrant out for his arrest for another driving and drug offense. So they took him, and then he has broken the restraining order since 2021. 4 times from jail with me. So he's been busy. It was so November 7th, he broke in my home. 3 weeks later, so December 15th.
That's when you met with the governor, in December of 2021?
December 15th, 2021. It might be 15th to the 17th. I'll send you the video.
You met with him, and was there a specific law that you were trying to tackle with him?
I guess, I just was nobody knew what to do with me because it's such a high risk and nobody does their job. So a woman said, I don't know what else to tell you. A high risk homicide advocate is who she is, right? Because that's who those are my advocates, even though I'm alive. Do you know what I mean? They're getting to know the clientele beforehand. It's she just said, do you want to come in front of the governor? I'm like, I didn't know who the governor was, because I'm too busy relocating that I don't give a shit about politics, and I don't care about anyone else's fucking politics. Mind your fucking business, unless you're going to be a fucking nice person and do what you're supposed to do as a human being. I have no use for you, period. I went in front of him at a round table. So it was huge. It was massive. And it was the first one he did. There was 50 news organizations, it was his whole little background, Massachusetts, whatever they bedazzle it up with, and I showed up in ripped jeans and a hoodie, sup, what am I doing? My face is all beat up. Cops are there with all their ribbons on because they want to high-five the governor. They don't give a shit what's going on. That county's the worst, Plymouth County. Just all these people that I didn't know who the fuck they were, nor did I care. But I just went to the table and I was facing away, and they were having everyone's face on film, and I was back the fuck up. You're not gonna get. So that was my first go, was you're not putting me on. They have my red hair at the top though. And I met a woman who was sitting next to me. She was holding my hand so tight, this older woman. I'm still really good friends with her because she sent me gifts. I was there for my life. I didn't give a fuck about the bill. I didn't know what was happening. I just knew I wanted to be on TV. I needed to say I'm gonna die, and it could have been prevented. I don't know what else to do. This is who I am. Help me. Anybody help me. Anyone type thing. Oh yeah, voting the dangerous bill, whatever the fuck that. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit?
The dangerous.
I was on every bill. It was, yeah, it was to have, it's I don't know, to give the judge enough. There's so many things that would have done that I didn't know weren't done already. If a child's rape, you should have that offender be held. Dangerousness, no bail, because he's too dangerous until trial. Period. Children aren't on that list. and a judge can't make an informed decision as well. He can only look at the charge that day, not that criminal history at all. So he's not looking for a pattern. He's just looking for, this dude is a murderer, but he just shoplifted some knives. He's not going to look that he just fucking stabbed someone to death and did time.
That doesn't
Crime's down, guys. Didn't you hear? Didn't you hear in the news?
sense.
Crime's down. It's not fucking down. That's not true. Crime against women is very much alive and fucking well. And it's
So-
assisted by the state. So
The incident that happened 3 weeks before you met the governor, what was that?
I'll go back. I'll do you one better. There was restraining orders I had to get numerous, right? Prior to this. Because obviously if I got one, he would be like, you want me in prison? I'm like, well, don't break a civil order. You won't go to prison. That's breaking the law. I don't want you in prison. I want you to leave me the fuck alone, though. So he already knew he was going to break it. Because in his mind, he knew. That's why he's like, you want me in prison. He knows he's breaking it. It was a joke to him. It's a misdemeanor charge. It had escalated to the point that in 2018, I had our daughter. And when she was like 30 days old, because I was not with her dad, he was like cheating on me, stole my car. Like I have a newborn baby. Like there was so much going on. And because I couldn't keep my kids safe in this home, like I would have these conversations with my ex-husband. It's like, listen, I don't know what to do. He's not going to leave. I keep, the kids can't be here. I couldn't keep them safe. Like I just couldn't, it's too much. And so I'm dealing with all that because I got to love my kids more than I love my ego or love anything else. If that's where they're going to be safe and not have to fucking see shit, then I don't care. Judge me. I don't care about anybody's fucking opinion. I don't need anybody to believe me. I'm not asking for any of that. This is just what it is. This is reality. And he broke in on my birthday and held me for like 3 or 4 days, and I had our baby. And she was a new date, like 30 days old, maybe younger. He held us for 3 or 4 days. I can't remember. He had strangled me because I kept being like, you're not coming back. Like, you need to leave. And then he just wanted me to say something and I wouldn't say it. Get the fuck out. Don't make me call. I did everything to not call the police just to give him a chance. Just go like do whatever. And he was strangling me and I was starting to lose consciousness because he just jumped on me and my little baby was swaddled. And so I was on top of her because he just pushed me down. So all I could feel her kicking my back. Like she's suffocating too. My newborn, his daughter. And I don't know. I must have hit him. Like I must have hit him in his mouth. And he jumped back and I said, you're suffocating our daughter. And he picked me up on my neck and he saw her, picked her up. We can't fight like this. Like psycho shit. And he took my phone. I didn't have a way out because I might have a way out, but if he's got my baby, she doesn't. Now she's in the house with him alone. And he kept saying, if you call the cops, I'll kill you before they get in. So it's not, you already know what's up. Like he doesn't care if he dies. And I think he'd kill her too, because that's what they do. Or they leave the kid with the mother's body. That's what I've seen trend up like forever. So he held us, and then I got the phone because I had sex with him, and he went to bed. And I got the phone back. I texted my stepsister, like, don't call me, call the police, say he's here. They had already been there so many times, people doing wellness checks from being held inside by him. Prior, they knew him. They've arrested him. They know he's dangerous. And so they called SWAT. I was already like making a plan. Like, what the fuck are they doing? They're taking too fucking long. He's going to wake up. And this is my chance. And so I had like one Timberland work boot on, one slipper. I was in like booty shorts. Like I was ripe. I'll tell you that. My hair was crazy. I had her wrapped in this weird blanket, and I fucking booked it. Like I thought in my mind, I'm like, I must have looked so fucking quick, like a lightning bolt. I was like fucking like she's a football, bro. Perfect fucking stature. I'll tell you that right now. A+. And the SWAT's around, just fucking dicking around, putting this. I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs. So glad you guys are fucking shooting up. Get the fuck in. I was like losing my mind. Like, what are you waiting for? Circle jerking? What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck in the house and be sleeping. And then they ended up making me draw a map. I'm like, you go in the door and then you go straight. And the big fuck's right there on the fucking couch. Can't miss him. His dick's out. Be ready for that, boys, right? And that part's not true, but it would have been funnier if the fuck it was. So they came in and they like got him and apprehended him. He got charged with like 14 violations of a restraining order from because he already had a violation of one and a warrant. And then he showed up here and held me hostage. So he already had they were already looking for him. So he got aggravated restraining order violation, which is a thing. 14 violations of the restraining order, suffocation, strangulation, kidnapping, intimidation of a witness, blah, blah, blah. So they held him. While this was going on, he was not paying where I could live, like the place my dad had owned, and we were like renting it from him. I got pregnant. I couldn't work. I was so big. It was just too much. And he was working and he just was not paying. So I had my daughter, and right after that happened, by January, I was homeless with her because he got my car taken, got impounded. I couldn't pay to get it out. I didn't have anybody to bring me and my baby. Couldn't go to court all the time because you can't bring a baby in, and I had nobody to watch her, like to sit with her. Like they would remove me from the court.
And that's probably fairly common.
I'm not sure because right, but they didn't give a fuck. Get your fucking baby out of here. They're like, get that baby out. And she was so brand new. So I'm trying to deal with all this, right? And I got marks on me and I'm dealing with everyone's opinions that I didn't ask for. It was bad. It was really bad. And it's still bad, but it's just years now, 5 years of this. Like, I ended up recanting my testimony because I'm at his mom's. And it was like, he's about to get all this time. It'd been wearing me down. She's like, you can't be here with her. If my son's going to go away for this, this, and this. And on top of the way the justice system was treating me. So it's just too much. And I dropped the charges knowing, like, I had to go in there and recant and say I lied. Whatever he had told me to say, I don't remember. But I just remember, like, I'm fucking myself right now. They all knew it was true.
Yeah.
They all were aware. So he got out. We're all at his mother's. And it was a blast. It was great. Great time to have by all. I mean, he was still a nightmare because now I'm with two of them. The mothers, who's fucking cooked, and him, with my baby. And I escaped. Within 6 months, I got housing for all this shit. I like snuck around. My dad came and got me at 7 a.m. I moved all my shit out. Nobody woke up. Fucking stealth mode again. And then he found us because the state sent my new address that was protected to his mother's house. And since then, he was arrested 6 times for showing up at my fucking house and being there. And I'd have to escape with my baby. Just fucking crazy shit. So all this, he would just randomly be there, right? We would break up. He got out. Blah 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 blah. Great times. It's all at one at this point. He doesn't want to be a good person or a good dad. He's got other kids. He just wants to manipulate the moms. I don't know how to deal with. You don't want to be a part of your daughter's life. I can't make you, but I'm not going to accept shitty behavior as a parent, as a person, so that you're barely in her life. You know what I mean? Like I have other kids. I know how this works, and it's not good for them. And it breaks my heart because I don't ever want my kids to not know who the fuck they come from. It's sad, and for her, and for him, it's sad for him at the end of the day too because this is his choice. He doesn't feel the guilt I feel. He's got nothing in him. He would just show up, and then on November 7th, 2021, I was sleeping in my protected home. They wouldn't move me, and it just kept escalating. This is an ex. People would be like, oh, your boyfriend. He had a child with somebody else during all these times. Like, I hadn't dated because I knew if I dated someone, they were at my home, he'd kill them. So, what can I do about it? I just would wait. So he showed up. He tried to break through my window. I had anti-shatter film on Amazon, and it really fucking worked. I would sleep downstairs in the living room, and I'd have my couch barricaded against the window, like against the little back door, but it was the hood. That door's been kicked in so many goddamn times prior to me ever living there that it's like one of those doors it's just not secure. I heard a pop. He had a pry bar, and so he tried to like break my window, and it broke like this way. It did, but the anti-shatter film from Amazon shout out. It was like $8.99. That shit held it in. It was like I couldn't. I was like getting to the best of review. Fucking best review. Then all of a sudden it was like he must have just put his fat ass against the door. I don't know what the fuck he did, but he was in my home, in my face, and he just instantly grabbed me, pushed me to the ground. He was punching me in my face so hard that my teeth were cracking. I could feel my jaw breaking, and I was the whole time I'm looking, I'm thinking this motherfucker has a GPS on his ankle. This motherfucker has a GPS on his ankle. That's what I was thinking. Like I spotted it. Fucking looking around, what's going on? Like, and he had me on the ground, and my whole neck was hitting the side of my day bed. I'm like, he's gonna crack my neck open. Like he's so big. I'm tiny. Like I'm I'm a size 6 or 6.5 for women's. I'm tiny. to the point that it's like a disability, if you will, because what the fuck can I do? Like, I don't have the means to protect myself against him. So I took it until I didn't. And then all of a sudden his mom was in the back door and I heard her voice say his name in her fucking tone, and he stopped and they left. And I had said to, he was like, I was like, I love you. I love you. I kept saying, because he's like, I'll just go get my bag and I'll stay here. This is after not seeing him, talking to him. So you got to
Did
go
his
with the
mother
psychosis.
drive him there?
Oh, but yes. Because I go, is that your mother? And he was like, yeah, I told her I was going somewhere else and to drop me a street away. Well, you know, nobody else in this area. And I mean, I know, I know, like I said, drugs. So, my back door, there was no light. It was a dirt road. He'd been spotted and the cops called on him for stalking me with a full black suit on. It's not me doing shit. I'm just trying to raise his daughter while he doesn't pay a fucking dime and being like, somebody's got to care for her. And if you're not improving that, like, I don't want to die. This is crazy to me. Like, I have no safe place. He shows up everywhere. Shows up everywhere. Still, like, this shouldn't still be a fucking thing. She's almost 6.
No.
But anyway, so he left because I was begged him. I was like, I won't call the cops, and I didn't call the cops. I just laid there on the ground, didn't even clean myself up. So my daughter woke up in the morning to my face completely fucked up, and me being like having a concussion. I think I had to go to work, so I just dropped her off. Her school's like taking her, and just kind of was like, nobody said a word until the woman with dementia. I had to go pick her up, and she was from Ireland. She goes, Jesus Christ. She was like, she's like, what the fuck happened to your face? She kept saying. And I was like, bad, and he just wouldn't stop writing to me, calling me. After that, it was like it triggered something. So I didn't go home for a week, and I had to get a restraining order on him again. So I knew that would kick off. They wouldn't serve him. They couldn't find him with his GPS on. So I was like, I'm like, ping him. I'm calling everybody. And now, while this is all going on, I had gone in front of the governor, was on interviews for this legislation. He like got me in the back door at the state house. I was like on budget day, like bombarding people with my presence. Just at this point, I'm realizing like nobody's gonna help me. They want me to go die quietly, and because I'm wounded, they're like sharks, dude. They can smell the blood, so they want to strike, right? And this is what I watched, and it dawned on me: abusive people get in these positions so that they can abuse people, right? But in my mind, I was like, they're gonna all be great. They're not great. So nobody knows what to do with this shit. And because people don't have the answers, they don't want to talk about it because they'll feel bad. Like they feel so bad. There's like the thing is like that's selfish almost. You got to listen to it. You got to listen to someone else. You just have to, because if we can find solutions, that's what it started being, was like, oh my God, I have all these advocates and they're just going to let me die. They told me to fill out a will, do a will. Right. And I was like, who the fuck's going to take my youngest? Right. There's nobody. There's literally nobody. So who would take her? My ex-husband. So that's how little people I have. And the only reason I thought of that is because my now 13-year-old, but she had said to her dad and her stepmom, like, what's she going to do if mom gets killed? Well, can she live with us? Like, we make sure she'll be with us. My baby, who is 10, like my son's written to senators before, like begging them. The one thing that I know I got from this is like, at least my kids saw me and they saw that it's okay to be fucking mad, and it's okay to hold someone accountable to their fucking face. And when shit's out of fucking whack, saying it. Don't fucking shut up to be polite. This is my life. I don't give a shit if I fucking offend you. Do your job and I don't come for you. Do what the fuck you're supposed to do. Where's your money going? I use words, I'm going to audit you. I don't fucking even know what that means, right? But I know there's bitches out there that do. That's what I need. It's like there's so many issues that I've had to witness, and it's from everybody. It's from everybody I've come into contact with that something to do in this field, in the justice system, except the police. The police they show up. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what their attitude is. They literally show up. They're the ones that you're telling the story to. Have I had great interactions? Not always. Have they had great interactions with me? Not always. But they still show up. Even if they're giving me the fucking finger, they are showing up and they're getting them. And in their mind, they will show up, because it's their job to go in and get these men, but they know who they are. And then they get let out. So they get angry, and it's like this whole, I understand. And like, not everyone's going to like you, right? But
The
you
world
don't get
always
to say,
wants a perfect victim, always. And if
right,
you're
but
not a perfect
that's
victim,
a farce.
right.
I'm telling you right now that don't put the bar high on this one. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't give a shit. I might not make sense to you. I don't need to. All I need to do is my life should matter because I have 3 kids and I'm a human and I'm not doing anything to put myself in harm's way or hurt anybody else. I just don't want this to happen to me. I don't want my kids, because it's a ripple effect. I've met so many families. Like, I know families that this woman, Lisa Hazard, she's still missing. The police didn't look for her because, well, the dad slit the son's throat, Dante Hazard, then killed himself. So they didn't have to worry about where the mother is. Like, that's in my area. People make it political. I went to the TV group and asked those women who they voted for. And you know what they did? They looked at me like I just fucking said something horrible about their mother. You know what I mean? Like, you think nobody cares. When your life's at risk, do you think we give a shit about what your opinion is on abortion? I fucking don't. I fucking don't. Do you think I fucking care about your feelings when it comes to just making shit up and deciding who gets to be at the top and who doesn't? I fucking don't care, and I'm not your girl. I'm not your girl. I'd still stick up for your life, though. But at the same time, I'd smack the dog shit out of you, too, because I don't make sense. That's the number one thing that gets said out there. I'm a domestic violence advocate. No, I don't want to die. This is for me first. If I help any other woman to enrage her, good, because she should be, and she's not wrong. I don't hate all men. I have a son, and I love him so much. I was raised by men, single dad and uncles. I'm not some like man-hating feminist, you know what I mean? It's like flipping out about things that don't fucking matter. I love guys and I love women, and no violence should be inflicted like that. But if you're going to be an insane person and put my life at risk, I will fucking smack you. I don't care. It's not right what's happening to anybody. Even the women that come for me, and it's a betrayal to my soul when somebody, all they have to do is maybe give me a report that I have right to, or like just tell me the right phone number I should call, instead of being like, I don't know. Because now it's like I'm in your fucking face, because it's like we die. Everyone's so upset over Amber and Johnny. Eat a dick. Are you shitting me right now? I would love to have Jason Momoa on my witness fucking list. But here's the thing. It's just me up there. And this guy's a killer.
So he's in prison now. And what is his sentence?
He got indicted. Whatever the fuck that means. It's a joke. He got indicted for, because he went to jail for something else, but then he decided to break the restraining order by calling me or having someone reach out. And he was also on superior probation from the 2018 crimes against me and my youngest, right? The suffocation one. So I'm the victim of that crime. So he went on to then commit more crimes against that same victim, which is against the terms of his probation. So when they weren't helping me, I found out who the fucking superior probation officer was and went like 5 people above her and just did my thing. And she was like, I see you, girl. I was like, thank you. She's like, she's going to do her motherfucking job today. Right. And she made her. She fucking made her. So we got held for a year for that. I was like, give them the maximum. They were like, that's not really. I'm like, maximum. I like didn't even know what the judge was saying. I was all stitched up. You know, it's just so dumb because I don't want to be there. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to be up in front of all these people at a podium at a woke church, at a woke motherfucking church. I was in the fucking trenches again, ladies.
Yeah.
What about me? I didn't get it. No damn respect for that. No, people didn't want to hear it because I'm not their type of person, and I'm not. But if your daughter was abused severely, guess what? I'm the girl you want because I can get any type of thing. Is like I still get shit on. There's a fucking trail of it though, and I make sure to make myself laugh every fucking day at their expense to their face. It's kind of great.
Well, this is the exact thing that happened when Gabby Petito was murdered and the nation and the world lost its mind. And there's women like you dropping like flies just in your state alone, and no one's doing anything because you're not a cute blonde vlogger. And God rest her soul, Gabby Petito, she opened a lot of eyes.
I know, little pumpkin. So
grateful
pumpkin.
for her,
I love.
But there's so many other women out there that need.
I live where the tribe is too. So I had 2 women in the tribe that really bad things happened to them, the Wampanoag tribe. I didn't look at it like, oh, they're in the tribe. I just was like, they're a woman. But I took notice because I lived on their land and I respect them. But I don't look at any of these women that I've ever, and I had to go to court because I watched advocates not show up for them. And I know that's a dangerous time. Your abuser knows you're going to fucking be there, right? You don't know your rights. They don't tell you you have a victim bill of rights, which is against it. So I learned that, and I was like, I'm quoting the fucking victim bill of rights. That's it. Everyone's knowing their rights. How the fuck are you gonna feel when bitches are coming in here like, I need a separate waiting area, and it started, and that's the best thing I've done for them and for myself. This is your job, reporting them, saying that shit, even though the media won't play out of it, because I'm like, and we can't say that. I'm like, I just don't care. I like that it likes my consent. That's aggressive. I blame the feminists. A few things happened. I had done an interview with a reporter, like the Plymouth Independent is the name of the paper. She got fired, this woman, Andrea, I don't know how to say her last name, Estes, E-S-T-E-S. She worked at the Boston Globe for years, apparently, but she wrote something. And so I spoke to her, and I thought we had like a good talk. She was fired for something, okay? I don't know what the reason was. I don't believe anything anyone says. But I spoke to her, and it was about, because the warden of the prison in Plymouth County apparently was like, you should reach out to this survivor that spoke at the white ribbon men's rights event, the DA's office. I was like, my man, Joe, always got your girls back. So she did. And it was about free inmate calls that they give all day long from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I'll send you that. There's a graph. I got the paper, what she wrote in the article. She didn't mention me because I said too much truth. And so she was like, yeah, it went, like the calls went up such an insane amount, like the call volume. You're giving them tablets. So from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., they can call all day long on tablets. I go, okay, well, you just told me that percentage is huge. So if you're trying to write this about domestic violence, why don't you ask them, did the percentage hike up on restraining order violations in the jail as well during that time? Or, intimidation of a witness charge. Why don't you look that up? So she didn't put that in, needless to say, because she didn't find that. So where I struggle is because I need to make it make sense to me. So regardless, once I thought that up, that's important to me to know. I don't want a half-ass information. I want the full scope of, okay, of course the call volume went up. They can call nationwide. They can call anywhere in the world for free. Inmates. And I said, everybody that spoke was too fair, myself included. Like, I was like, I believe that prisoners deserve their rights. I believe we have due process, and if it works how it's supposed to, it could work out 50-50, right? I believe that the loss of liberty is their punishment for committing a crime. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that abusive guys should have this fucking tool where the money's getting taken out of the prison now, because now it's a law that they have to give the free calls. All that money goes into the prison's programs, like to get your barber's license, to finish your GED, batter's intervention that doesn't work. But it goes into their programs that help them. I know men have left prison and their life has changed because they got maybe a degree or something like that while they were in there. So it takes all that. They're taking it from these guys, but giving them the iPads to fucking call home all day. They're not my issue. My issue is with the ones that are in there for beating the shit and terrorizing women, whoever it is, child rapists. None of them should get that.
And there should be some kind of restriction on their iPad if that's the case, right? I mean, but of course they would have to make a law or something. But
the thing is they had a telephone service called Securus, like Technologies. So that's when a prisoner calls you, it's like, you have a collect call or whatever, prepaid call from an inmate at blah, 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 blah. That's the technology that's recording the phone, because they listen in randomly all the time, but they're not going to hear everything. So everything's recorded through a system that's been in place forever. They take that out. I spoke to somebody that works in the prison this morning, because I called her the other day, but it was a holiday, so she wasn't on. And I asked her that question. I said, I tried to get back because I read the article, and it's just a liberal, idiotic, Democratic article. She didn't put the full thing in. So in my mind, she's the enemy. You're not telling the whole truth. You can't act like you're a woman's fucking champion and not tell all aspects and waste my fucking time and 2 other women that I sent your way.
So what story was she painting, and what is the reality?
Oh, she quoted, I don't know the reality yet. I just know, I said to the lady that works in the in the prison's victim services was like, listen, I don't know how to get in touch with the sheriff, but he's a sheriff and a warden. Like, he owns this shit. He runs this shit. And I was like, he is the one who said for the reporter should reach out to me, because it seemed like I was up to date on this. And I was like, I don't know how to get to him without a million women in the way, or secretaries, I just need to know he's the warden, find me the data, because I have all that. So they printed that, social justice people were like, clearly it was a need that needed to be met. God is good. You know what I mean? They can talk to their family now. She interviewed a guy from somewhere else that's in there for rape of a young girl. And he was like, it's great. And then she quoted the lady I worked for before, who's useless and spineless, in a nice, very sweet tone. So she's very hard to not like.
So the prisoners have a right to stay in touch with whoever they want all day long for free, nationwide and possibly worldwide. But you are basically in hiding.
And they still aren't saying what the big deal is. Like, the real issue is, all it said is domestic abuse survivors and victims of crime, because it's just women that have been subjected to crime. They might not know who the guy is. Could be a stranger, a rapist, whoever. They're all in this jail. And she was like, they said it hurts them, but she put no data to prove how it hurts us. And the lady I worked for, who's the coordinator, the head lady, she said, we understand that it can foster relationships with children. So why do you understand? It's not your job to understand anything about this. Yeah. Oh yeah. I read it and my blood was boiling, and I go, I want that data so I can go to them and be like, did any one of you Einsteins that have a degree in this, or a certificate, or your pedestal that you propped your fucking self up on think, oh, they're right now. Should I think of that? And I have the brain of somebody that's been in a war. It's not working at full capacity, but I came up with that. That's not to toot my horn. It's like, why the fuck aren't you thinking that? You talk about it all day long in these places. That's my issue. I got an issue from top to bottom. Period.
Are they trying to say that it's good because these guys can stay in touch with their own children? Or are you saying, hey, they can be getting in touch and being pedos and shit and getting in touch with children, or both?
No, I'm talking about abusive men.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Abusive men that have restraining orders on them,
Mm-hmm.
that are in there for violating said restraining orders. The kid's covered under the restraining order. My ex, when he violates it from jail, is like, I hope the baby's okay. I love her. But the reality is those are empty words. It's the action of reaching out, which is the law. You cannot break that. You just you just committed a crime. I don't care what the fuck it says.
The children are included in the restraining order, and so that's not some kind of, for someone in your position, like, yeah, we're not doing the whole, it's great for them to stay in touch with the kids, because we're not doing that right now. We have a restraining order because he's a dangerous lunatic.
Yeah. And the thing is like, when you get to this point, of course I have these thoughts, because you're not allowed to grieve. You're not allowed to say anything about anything. Usually people are like, well, don't, romanticize it. It's like, I'm not, but I'm not talking about half of it. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell whatever the fuck happened, whenever the memory pops up, but I know my daughter is not listed in any child endangerment, anything. And when he was committing these crimes against me, she was present, whether she was upstairs in bed or not. She was present. And that's how they think. So this time I've had so many restraining orders, and there's so many restraining order violations that, like, he pissed the judge off enough that the judge offered a permanent one for my daughter and myself. That's forever. He cannot contact me forever.
That's your youngest, his baby.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, and my other kids are covered under it too, just like to cover all bases, because these guys, I can't predict what he's going to do. I honest to God wish I could. But I don't think on that level of, like, I think craziness, but no, these men are predator. Like, they will.
Well, you may not be able to predict what he's going to do, but we know from the data and from stories like yours that there's a pattern. And what's the pattern? Just the fun reminder.
It's terrorism, and it's slowly happening to you.
And it ends where?
Death.
Of you.
And it's not, yeah. And I just say, do you think these men come over and they romantically fucking smother me with a kiss and I die? No, they douse you in gasoline and they set you the fuck on fire. They bury you in a shallow fucking grave in someone's field 3 states away, whether you're pregnant or not. I had a woman, she was hacked with a fucking axe in front of their 3-year-old child, watched it while the other kids were. These things stick with me because I know it's like the ghost of Christmas future. It's not like, oh, you're paranoid, you're hypervigilant. Like, no, motherfuckers, I know this dude. My guy's an actual killer. They're all killers with this mentality, whether it's been coercive control. If they have something in them that makes them tick in that way, where you are your property. You have no rights. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He's sleeping with whoever, spitting on, whatever they do, financial, any of it that hurts your spirit. Fuck that. They're capable of killing you. I don't care if he's never touched a hair on your head. They will kill you when you try to leave. And we are not told that enough because you don't want to alarm another. The worst part for me that I get upset about is looking at another woman and seeing like, it's almost like, just like they get a veil on them, and you got to take that out. You got to take the justice out of their head, because you can't go in there with fucking, I can't go in there like this is a fantasy. We're in reality right now, and they don't give a fuck about you. No, you're going to get up there, and they don't. Common sense has no place here. We live in Massachusetts, baby. There is none. It's been dead for at least 20 years. They don't fucking have it, and they don't care. My ex is just an extreme example of that. He's like to the extreme, and I still have met women that I'm like, whoa, when I hear what these guys have done, or they're capable, like they just insane stories. Nobody deserves that. And all these women are going to work, just going home, just trying to take care of these guys' kids that are also afraid of the dad, that have issues after the dad's not there.
And I think you were headed where it's the most dangerous part when you decide to leave, or when you do leave. And so a lot of people are forced to stay because of that. Because you don't want to escape. Yeah, you don't want to escape without your children. So you have to have some kind of plan, which means you have to have some kind of support, money, a place to hide, a backup system. If you're working, well, do you have to quit your fucking job? Do they have to be in on it? I mean, there's just so many things that have to be in place.
I think it's a sickness too, because I know nobody's going to ever put more shame or blame on me than I did of myself. Of the times that like I didn't understand why I felt physically ill without him. Like physically ill, like craved him, wanted him, because at this point you're completely alone. And it wasn't normal to me to have a man not take care of his child. Like that wasn't my like past. Like I have 2 ex-husbands. I think that we grew up together. A lot of things, like, my first marriage was really short, but I get along with him really, really well. And it's like,
how old were you when you got married to your first husband?
I think I was 21. Yeah, he was a Marine, and he is a Marine. He's a veteran now, but he was in the war and stuff like that. And we had my son. We were just really young, and I love him to death, but he's an asshole. So it is what it is. He got sober.
Just interesting. My mom, she had me when she was 22. My dad was 25, and he was in the Navy. Just like somewhat similar. I bet you that's a tale as old as time, right?
Oh my God. Well, yeah, my mom and my dad's in the Navy. And my mom was best friends with my dad's first cousin. So my aunt and my nana were sisters, and she was over there visiting, and she just like, you should call, write my son. He's in boot camp right now, fighting communism. And he was like, I was in Idaho and I wasn't fighting any communism. I mean, I made sure there was none there. And so they went on a date. They wrote to each other. They fell in love. They went on a date. And they were married 2 weeks later for like 20 years. I mean, I think it's just romantic. For me, he's like, I get more money if we're married. I was like his first girlfriend, and he was a stud. You know what I mean? I was just like, we were friends for 2 years before we ever dated. I'm grateful we have Matthew. Like, that's my son, because he's a gift from God. That's why we named him that. His dad is very charismatic and driven, and I'll respect him always. He went to war and he fought for the country, and people can't take that for granted, because I saw all his friends, some came back, some didn't. So to me, that has honor. And then my second husband, like, he was there too, through thick and thin. My mom died. My nana died 2 days before my mom. Like, there's a lot of shit that happened in those years that we were married. Years. I mean, I think it was almost 10 years we were together. And I still love him, and I love his wife. I know we can co-parent, but when you're with someone that just doesn't want to, when you're trying to be away from somebody and you have a child with them, and I'm like, all right, so I was kind of forced into having another child, knowing damn well this wasn't the time, because my home wasn't safe. My kids couldn't be there anymore. not because of the state, not because of anything else, but me realizing like, fuck, I don't know what to do. And like, how do you tell two ex-husbands who don't want to hear your bullshit? Because if someone brings it, you're like, oh, leave your bullshit, dude. But it was a safety thing. So I had to have safety plans with my second husband and his wife. It was just, this shattered me. So you're trying to get through it. And I don't ever want to see somebody go to prison that I've cared about and share a kid with. But he did it. So it's convincing you. I have to convince myself on a daily basis and say it, like, he'll kill me. Yeah. Because even though I say it, a part of me just never wants to believe somebody would do something like that. Like even now, I'm like, I say it out loud and like I hear like my dad or whoever, it's like, you got to get over it. And I'm like, what you're doing right there, that ain't right. There is no getting over it. I'm still in it. We're in trial. He was indicted. So, I mean,
you were in court as recently as when?
It was a few days ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like last week.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've been in it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he goes in different counties and does this shit. Just because I'm in a court right now, I just was in Norfolk Superior Court with him, trying to get him held for as long as I could for the probation violation. And I had to make a stink for that. They just want you to die quietly. I think I'm holding everybody responsible. Everybody's on fucking notice. I promise you that, because I made so much noise, not so I could help women and kids. Literally, that wasn't other people's kids and them were not on my mind. I'm like, I'm going to die and I have nobody around me anymore, because everybody still, I think, even though it's been years, they'll be like, but have you been with them? It's like, what do you think I'd call fucking SWAT and have them come in every fucking time if I had been with him and he gets caught? You know what I mean? Like, you just are not believed from everybody. From everybody.
Well, that's the trick, isn't it? The isolation. That's one of the first things that happens.
Until they see something and they're like, holy shit, it's real.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it took my dad seeing him stalking me because he had a tracker on my phone. And I didn't know he had a tracker on my phone. It was like a parent app.
So even your own dad was having a hard time sort of understanding the severity of things?
Oh, yeah. My dad's been like, you've opened the door for him, like, to get in. And I'm like, Dad, he's kicking the door in. When he kicks that door in, if I'm right there, what's his mood going to be? And you got 2 seconds to fucking think on what you're going to do, you know? Right. And I already had really bad complex post-traumatic stress before this for other shit. But it's like, I don't want a crown for being a victim. I just want something to change. And I just want to fuck off and go live my life, because this is a fight. Like, I'll just fight for it no matter what. I'm going to talk about it no matter where I am. But the people in the fight, it's a fugazi, it's fake as fuck, because these are women I'm looking at that are telling me one thing, like, oh, yeah, we train the DA's office employees. We train the police department. Okay, well, you haven't done a fucking training since 2021. And the policies that these motherfuckers signed in 2014, when the law passed, they all had to get mandatory safety risk assessment training for domestic violence. All right, so 2014 that passed, you tell me that, but you don't provide the training, right? So it's like, they gaslight you.
It's a bunch of fucking lip service. Okay, so this is what we're going to do going forward, and then they don't do it. And you wouldn't know that, because it's not like they're like, oh, we're going to call everybody up. Hey, by the way, we're not doing any of this stuff. Just wanted to let you know. You are having to do all this extra legwork to find out what's being done, what isn't. It turns out nothing's being fucking done. Sorry.
Right. No, and it makes you crazy, because throughout all of this, I've met women, because I go to the support groups, and you meet women who come on Zoom, a lot of them, and like, if they turn their camera on because they feel comfortable, finally have to listen to probably maybe an asshole. They're like, all right, I can like show, and like, they're disfigured, open-faced, holes in their head, knives in their fucking head still because of brain swelling, throat slit, and you see them, and I can't not cry, but I can't shut my camera off either. Like, I have to look at that because it's real and it's happening. And we can act like nothing's happening, but we're all in hiding. That's why you don't see us coming out like, it's like a thriller, the thriller music video when we come out. Like, do you know what I mean?
Zombie
it really
apocalypse.
is. And like, they don't realize you can laugh because you're going to get fucked. So you better just fucking make it. I roast everybody. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Comic relief.
You can't. And you need to say it to their face, because none of these coworkers are saying it to each other's faces. Like the domestic violence nonprofit, right? Nonprofit. took a knee, so they get the federal funding. What does that mean? Somehow that intertwines with they're not able to hold the district attorneys accountable if there's like an ethical issue or if there's like a complaint because they'll withhold funding. How does that happen? I don't know, because they get grants for all this shit. Meanwhile, I'm on the run after getting my own domestic violence housing. I was already fucking situated. So the state failed me when I'm trying to get benefits just to get back on my feet with the kiddies not paying a fucking dime for. Like I was homeless her whole first year. We were homeless. Homeless, living at my second husband's family's house. Nobody. Right. So it's like, you don't understand. Like, and then you're like, is my life worthless? You know, like I don't get like me going to strangers and trying to be like, it's gonna kill me. And I don't know what to do. So you're
There's
looking
one thing
like a,
that it's one thing that I've noticed when you're going through the system, any kind of system, governmental, anything, it's all sort of set up to demoralize you. One of the things that you mentioned last time we spoke was about, you know, you can't bring your kids to any of these appointments.
yeah, for
But
superior court.
a lot of you are isolated with no support. So what do you suppose? Like every single step of the way is like this uphill battle. It's like they make everything really difficult and everything really demoralizing to where you
Well, you know
end
what
up
they do? I'm
with
trying to
where
put
you
this down a
just
little
said,
bit.
like, am I worth it? It's set up to make you feel
Yeah.
like you're not. To me, it feels purposeful.
No, it's 1,000% is. And for me, it's like to have this woman tell me, because I was like, while I'm sitting here, I should be getting trained. Why shouldn't I? I got more done in 2 years than they have done at all. They did a pride event. Good fucking job. Good job. Taking a fucking knee once again. Just put the balls all the way in. Because that's what they do. And I stand by whatever the fuck I say about them, because I would never. Anybody that helps anybody, none of this shit. I don't like to shit on someone's advocacy, but when you're not, but you're getting, move your tail. When you're getting all the grants, you're getting all this. They get grant money. Like it's so twisted and corrupt. But we die over egos. Egos. These women end up taking the men back from jail because they're getting harassed. They have no support. They know we are not being read our rights or given our rights by the district attorney's office. They do not hold them accountable. They're not just doing it to you, though. They're doing it to your kids. So I hear these women be like, but why? And they're saying it to the DV place. So I'm literally watching them give bad information. And I'm like, who's your advocate at the court? And I have files, right? I'm like, can I have a file? And I started taking the people that are in my DV groups and going to court with them and learning my rights, because I'm like, how are they breaking our law, victim bill of rights, by not providing us with even a printout? They don't have it hanging in their office, which is against the law. And when I went to the fucking woman at the little side window, she didn't have any. I go, print some out, Bethany. You know what I mean? That's against the fucking law. And they did it. And then they sent in all these DAs all of a sudden. When you walk in there like you got big fucking dick energy, you guys want to do this, go fucking head. I'm making so much noise. They act a little different. They don't treat me any better, but they're a little bit more fucking hesitant on this shit. Like I talk to the DA every 2 weeks. And everyone's like, she did a great job. Not that fucking great a job, because this would already be nipped in the bud. In reality is they're going to extract every phone record, give him every detail of my phone based off of almost the end of discovery. So everything was already in place. How about you just handle his crime that he committed with his GPS on? And his lawyer is like, his mom said she reached out in 2022. It just doesn't make sense for help with the baby. So the text message, though, show that this is a credible witness like I had to. It's not true. So why do you get to extract my messages, my Google searches, my fucking my voicemails, call log, to give it to the defense?
You're not the fucking criminal around here. What the fuck is going on?
But beyond
Why
that,
should he have rights to anything of yours?
Well, I said I have a lifetime restraining order and I'm in hiding. I've had to relocate like 4 times in 5 fucking years. And the reality is I'm part of the Attorney General, like their Azure confidentiality program, where you're in this bubble of that you're protected. And I'm like, obviously that's your superior. They thought this guy was a risk enough that they put me in that, right? That judge, your fucking peer, thought he was dangerous enough to give us both restraining orders. And you're going to give the defense attorney, based off of nothing, just an allegation, He made up all this stuff. I'm like, how can you sit there and say I said he broke my nose? That's not in the police report. He just lied. I had all the reports, everything he said to prove that's not fucking true. I said no. I opposed them getting any of my text messages because what does him breaking in with the GPS don't have to do with my text messages? Like, I didn't speak to him. He showed up. So he's digging. And I said it was a fishing expedition when I did my objection.
Oh, right. Well, like he wants to see if you're dating someone. He just wants to be in your business.
Oh, he wants to against my business. He'll find out where I am. He'll find out where my kids live now. Find my everything. Everything it has to do with this, everything that has to do with the case. And I was talking to the governor's office, like doing anything because I understand and they're fucking deluded. A defense attorney's doing this job. We need them. We fucking need them, right? But like, this is intimidation. It's intimidation is what it is. I'm going to get up there on that fucking stand and sound like the worst person in the fucking world. No jury is going to say guilty because of that. I know it. I say who knows what the fuck I said, but it shouldn't have anything to do with him breaking into my home out of nowhere. Nowhere. There was like I think it's 5 or 6, I got to count, around that times that he's broken in and had to be removed every time by the cops. That's just the time the cops came. A few times I was able to he didn't get in because I had a friend there, a female friend who would see and be like, oh my God, he's really just in the street behind you. Yeah, dude, I'm freaked out because I don't know what to do with that. What's he there for? Like, I don't want to be with him. He's there to fucking fuck me, which is rape, because I'm not with him. I don't want to be with him. And I'm having to take care of his kid, deal with my injuries mentally, which is very hard to function, to the point I'm like, I can't even figure out how to get data on shit. They want me to do an objection. Do I look like a fucking lawyer to you? What do you mean objection? Like, I'm like, yeah, it's a fishing expedition. You have my time. Like, what the fuck do I know about? I was just like, I'm not a lawyer, Your Honor. But I know that he's trying to get into my stuff, and I know that that's dangerous because this man is stalking me, even though he's not charged with it. It's stalking. If you've got like 30 or 20, however many violations of a restraining order, and out of your 14, 15-page criminal record, I'm like a lot of those pages. And it's not me. It's not me. And I just want to be safe. They don't tell you when he's released sometimes, like he's just been released. They don't care. And so I'm like, he's looking for a plea deal. And I'm like, at least he would have to fucking plead guilty. Because if we go to trial and they think about how bad they are, they'll get an all-female jury for the most part because women are harder on domestic violence witnesses than anyone else as a jury. Factual. It's in Plymouth County and it's really sucked. I'm like, I just don't want to die. Can we just figure out like how to keep me safe? And the prosecution's supposed to keep me safe. They don't. I had to give up my protected housing because of one fat bitch that fucking hates life and has a little bit of power, because this one lady just didn't want to help me. I had to leave my housing. I had to leave it. I was homeless for forever. My kid deserves to put roots down and me to be in a community where I'm not living in the crime scene. I should be able to keep her stable. I just want to be like, I had to quit a really good fucking job over this. And now it's like I'm involved, but I'm not here to fucking shake hands. I'm here because I want fucking shit to get done. Like, okay, I'm angry, but it's focused energy on that. Like, it's like, I need this fucking anger because it keeps me alive. If I don't have it, dude, there's days I don't want to wake up because it's like, who the fuck wants to play a rigged game?
Yeah.
I was not, like, I got enough shit going on. I deserve safety. I deserve to be a good mom and not be a mom that's just reacting from a place of like, who knows where the fuck it is. But I don't know what it looks like for her because I'm constantly just in a fucking daze. Like, my brain is on overdrive and my body feels like it's just not okay. I just want some peace and normalcy and to not deal with this. But when you're telling people this girl died of A, B, and C, and people just like, oh, you have to fucking listen to it. You fucking have to. You just do. It's happening, dude. And it's happening all around me.
This is the thing. I mean, I do that true crime thing, and that I'm interested in that subject because of the psychology, and everybody knows that true crime is this big entertainment genre for whatever reason. And, no one person, including myself, is holding up the industry on their own. Everyone is interested in this. It's compelling. It tugs at your heartstrings, all of those things. That's fine. But the point of this is that you're a real life person and you're still here.
Right.
And I don't want to see a documentary about you.
Right.
And we don't want
Right.
to see some 2020 special with your children about the aftermath 20 years
Right.
later. Like, this is real fucking life.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I understand a lot of the times you get told to document stuff, but that means nothing to you. Like, it means write it down for this motherfucker to find it. Like, even like journaling, I can't do it because I don't want any type of evidence of what I'm thinking in case he was to. It's like a twisted fucking game. So they tell you to document it. They don't tell you what documents you can get so you can really take a peek into this person's mind. Because there's so many documents I want to get. I don't even know how to go about it. Even just making the phone call to just be like, hey, well, because I know the bitch on that other end is not going to do her fucking job. What she's going to do is grind my fucking gears, and she's going to get me going. And I'm like, okay, Cindy, you just don't feel like doing your fucking job today? Who's your boss? Like, I get crazy over this because, like, I watch women and they come in, they want their head down. They just want their head down and to get somewhere safe and do it, be all right, or get their kids back, whatever the fucking case is. And they apologize. And I'm sorry I called you. I'm sorry. And their little voice because they don't have it yet. You know what I mean? And the thing is like, I'm the cunt that wakes you the fuck up. That's like, you have every fucking right to be angry because you're not crazy. That bitch isn't doing her fucking job. And I don't care who you are, whether you like my tone or not. When you're in that situation, you need somebody like me that doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. I don't give a flying fuck. You are in my fucking face right now because you chose this field. Buckle the fuck up, bitch, because she's not dying on my watch. Everybody's so fucking afraid. Walk through it. I don't fucking know, but you're a coward. Sit the fuck down then. That's literally how I feel at this point. Is I don't have time for people being offended. I don't have fucking time for some fucking idiot telling me he doesn't like my delivery or she doesn't like my delivery. And to be real, I love women. I do. And I'd stick up for them no matter what. But there's some of you guys are bitches out there, dude. Like, no doubt about it. Like, no matter what, I am an acquired taste. It makes me no less than you. Whether your asshole is bleached or not, bitch, you're on the same level as me because you can become prey real fucking quick. And I would hope that people treated you with a little bit more fucking kindness than I'm treated with. It's like I get just like glossed over it. I'm a hard person to fucking ignore. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not. And so just to have like all these women, and I hear these women on the internet, and the internet matters. I made connections that last a lifetime that I'm so grateful for, right? But the other side of that is people, just horrible people. If you have to recruit people to also not like somebody, you're weak and you're going to lose in the battle against life at some point. I don't need that. I like me. I think I'm a fucking gangster. I literally gas myself up on a daily basis because I don't care. I don't fucking care if you like me or not. If shit went down, you'd want somebody like me there because I fucking survived death way too many times. And I know I've helped women, and I help real women that are dealing with this with just a little bit. Anything. You want me to come to court and roast motherfuckers? You want to come with me? You don't know that you can go to the senators. You don't even know there are senators. Oh, bitch, you can write them. I got their emails. The fact that they even saw me at that fucking podium at that woke church, fucking whip my hand up, telling these farmers, telling these fucking idiots, these cucks and simps, you're the fucking problem, beat your God. Because they need it. They need it. Let's get the shit going. We're not doing the feelings are hurt, right? Like, where is the toxic masculinity when you fucking need it? Because there's a lot of pussies going around. And I look at it like, I don't have time for it. I just don't. My life depends on it. It must be nice to sit at home and fucking be able to have the luxury to suck as much as you did in high school. Good for you. You'll be fucking miserable. Whoever you're with is going to be miserable, and you're going to die miserable. That's just how it is.
There's a repeating pattern that I'm seeing, which is victim blaming.
Right.
And I really just don't understand that at all. And we see it all over the place with narcissistic abuse.
Right.
The victim is out there reacting, and that's what everyone responds to. And it's like, can we fucking redirect the attention?
Like this. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The problem is, can we go back to the original problem? Because that's not, you're not it.
People need to think for themselves. When you start chanting, you know what you sound like to me? From the river to the sea. That's what you sound like. A fucking idiot. A moron. right?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. That has nothing to do with politics. That's from the outside looking in. Get the fuck out. You sound stupid. That's how I feel. As a whole, fuck off. I don't care. You sound like one of them. Doesn't matter what you believe in, your ideology. I can't say this enough. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about your ideology. If you're a cunt, you're a cunt. I'm sorry, it's a lot of bad language, but I feel like your viewers aren't people that go to church regularly. So,
Didn't we grow up thinking that, God, I forgot what I was going to fucking say.
I mean, you look good though. Why you forgot it? You were just like,
Just things were so different when we were younger.
yeah, they were more different, but I feel like the people that were older were crazy about politics. So I think, are we just a person
that's
that
what I was
became-
going to say. Like, it was polite to not fucking discuss that shit. We grew
didn't-
up when
you
you
didn't
kept your
discuss-
believies
it was
to
shut
yourself.
down. Shut the fuck down.
Yeah.
If somebody brought it up, they go, no politics. That's what was said, and it was done.
No
They'd get kicked
religion,
out.
no politics.
No, and like at all. It
Yeah.
just, I didn't know anything about politics except for I knew that the guy, like the crime family in South Boston, like I knew them, and the brother of the crime boss, Whitey, was like Billy Bulger. He was a fucking senator or some bullshit. Like I knew a little bit. I didn't know we had all these senators who do nothing. They do nothing. They look, if you saw them in the halls, they literally look, they're fucking on their way to the fucking situation room to tell fucking Sleepy Joe some bullshit. You know where they are? They go into the fucking break room to gossip with the other fucking idiots that are in there. So in the hallway, they look great. The form's great. They're going. So they're whizzing by you. They're going nowhere.
I mean, there's George Santos is out there still making a salary and he doesn't do shit. I sit in his Twitter spaces now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm in a fucking Twitter space with George Santos right now. And that motherfucker makes like $200,000-$300,000 a
Yeah.
year. And I don't.
Right.
He's not
So, like,
even doing his job.
But right, but I know, but it must be nice because we're
Must
dying
be.
out here, and there's homeless encampments everywhere. And the reality is, it's like there's so many other different things I need to worry about. I need to worry about safeties for my kids. I could be doing great things. Instead, my spirit is broken. I have a hard time dealing with the public unless you've been viciously traumatized, and we're about to go into war. But I'm telling you, that's the most beautiful part. It was like looking out, because I'm so proud of myself that I did that. I did the display. It was something that I was like, these silhouettes fucking matter, dude. Like, nobody cares. I think I saw like a video, somebody in Connecticut must have put it up. It was like, they were red, and it was like the silent witness display, and you can go on their website, but it's like $100 and something for like a wooden, 5-foot cutout of a silhouette. And it's a visual, like, memory provides you with, like, of seeing, okay, it's different when you hear, all right, 22 kids and women have died from domestic violence. But when you're walking through it, because you have to read the shields that they got on them, and you see it, you're not going to forget it. Everybody was driving by going, what's up with the purple people that are out there? Because I made them purple for domestic violence. And they were out there for like 2 weeks. Huge. And so like every single person, I drove there all the time just to see, and I park, and everybody would be walking in and out. And that made me feel good. They're taking the fucking time. People were pulling over. They mattered. There was women on there, pregnant women on there, little kids, like 4 years old, that got viciously murdered. Just like bad things. So seeing them in a little kid car, they were like 2 feet, 3 feet at the most. So you could see the difference in the size, and it's in front of this church. And I had to fight them the whole time. I had to kind of muscle my way in to be like, I'm a part of this congregation, I'm part of the community though. And you guys did the abortion fucking protest. You're always like BLMing it up. You get the trans fucking kids, they matter apparently. And they tried it. Like the Social Justice Committee, they were trying a bitch, and they were 90,000 years old. So I'm talking to them, and they're like, well, why aren't you going to put trans kids on there? Like literally, I go, what? I go, listen, guys, I'm going to get this out there. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. There's no fucking such thing. So we're not going to agree on this. Let's just agree that these women and kids are dead. The kids that are, they know what they are because they, got sense in their mind, and nobody indoctrinated them at that point. And then they had a guy on there because he had the female name, and he passed away, and it was horrible because he was with his friend who was in the domestic violence relationship whose boyfriend kicked in and killed them both. Guess what? He's off the list. He's not a silhouette. R.I.P. Not my problem. No disrespect, because that's a human, but not on this grass. There's women on this grass, because no one's fucking coming in here and telling me who the fuck is a woman. I did background on all of it. So they're there. They wanted to put a land offering. They do check all the boxes, like to the indigenous. They do it to the fucking anyone that's oppressed, basically. So I'm like sitting there like, all right, I had to do a 2-hour thing with some reverend. I don't know what they have, pastor, something Paul, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, he was a prick, and I don't give a fuck that he believes in organized religion. So I brought my binder of all my ex's fucking best hits, and he was like, well, what do you think he did this for? And it's like, he's not even involved in the social justice committee. And I was like, I don't know, I'm not his shrink, but I know what caused what happened to me. I'm here. They kept going, well, who are you attached to? Like, they would not let me just do this because they thought like maybe I was like, who knows, ripping them off or just going, what about if they all come together and they protest? I'm like, the abusive dudes. They're going to form together like the Flying V and fucking the Mighty Ducks and what? Be like, we're woman beaters. They don't say that out loud. Shut the, like, it was like, you're dealing. So I'm dealing with this, like, we're dancing still, like a lunatic. And when I did it, I got up there because they wanted everyone else to talk but me. And I spoke, and then I just spoke for 20 minutes about this is what's going on. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you this is what's wrong. And nobody in the community is talking about it. So when we have the juries of people in the community, you guys don't want to talk about it. So you're uneducated on it. It was just like, oh, okay, now you're aware. What can I do? What can you do? Well, here's 2 bills that are, you know, to make cutting a GPS on tracker, 2 years mandatory. But it didn't pass, doesn't matter, like sentence to study or some shit. But I had all their state reps' emails already printed out with the fucking template on how you write to the fucking guy. I had it all lined up. I did anything I could think of to be like, what are they going to ask me? What dumbass fucking question are these people going to ask now? So, because it's like, all right, you make them aware. Now they're all just what? Walking around aware? No, they feel great. They got the purple ribbon on. What the fuck are you doing for us? I'm looking at all of you. And I was like looking at all of them, hard eye contact. Like, this is me and I could die. And I'm looking at you guys because you guys are going to fucking acknowledge me. And I was like, and there's survivors that came out of hiding and they get their kids here today. And they see me up here and I don't want to be up here. I just don't fucking care. I'll kick fucking doors in about this shit. This is our lives. If it gets us, we don't want the attention. We just want that. Help us. I don't know how. There's so many issues. If you can't be stable in a place, you're not going to be able to get a job or even like, I don't even know what I'm good at because I dedicated my life to being a stay-at-home wife. All right, well, now I have less husbands and 1 fucking stalker. I'm way behind. This is my first time living this life too. I'm doing the best I can with nobody. Like my mom's not around. My dad's just like, I'm a son to my dad. He calls me buddy. Like, so in his mind, he's like, I'll fucking get him right between his eyes to be gone. Like, it's like not realistic. It's like you're old with diabetes. Settle the fuck down. And but it's like that's why women will end up going and meeting another person that's just as dangerous to be with because it's like you're out here unprotected. Right. And that's what it feels like. It's like, and I gotta be. You're not being the best parent. I think for me, doesn't mean that I was raised by a single dad, right? So I know everybody's different, but I think when you have 2 parents, it makes a difference. Mm-hmm. Because if you have just me taking care of my daughter, I'm having to be her protector. I'm having to be bringing home the money, making the money, figuring out what we're going to do, keeping it. All these things I got to figure out, plus dealing with the school system, dealing with where are we going to live, dealing with court, and then dealing with healing from physical injuries and stuff. Like, you're taken from the kid because I'm not able to dedicate my day to her. And what does she need? Because I'm too busy just trying to sustain life for both of us. She goes, no, if I get killed, my kids will be fucked up forever. Like, fucked up. Like, my son's my best friend. He's 17 and a half. He's fucking so cool. He's so fucking funny and cool. You know, my she's 13 now. I guess stuff going on with her dad, so I haven't been able to see her. But like, that's a piece of my heart ripped out that I can't address right now because of this going on. And like, after the courtship with my ex, I need to heal my mind and go somewhere. Like, I was just trying to go sit with horses, dude, because they feed my soul. And I'm around all these farms, and like, these bitches don't let me go on their land. Like, I'm like, let me just be right here. I'm just gonna sit in my car and fucking talk. You know what I mean? Just look at them. Not even to think. I've gotten kicked off of land so many times, and I'm not being a weirdo. Like, I just want to be around them. And like, you can't. Like, I can't do anything. Like, anything I try to do is almost too much for my brain. Like it's like I don't know how to live because I just want to fucking kill people. Like, it's like Everyone's
You're
got
in
these petty
survival
problems.
mode.
But like, it's been 5 years of it.
Yeah, that's too
At some
much.
point, like, your body dies.
Yeah.
I have a benign tumor on my spine from an injury. Like, I have brain bleeds. I have concussions. My jaw's been cracked. I have no bottom fucking teeth. You know what I mean? Because I can't. They had to take them all out from them getting impacted into my gums. That's embarrassing at my age. Like, that's not from anything else but a guy that's like so big breaking into my home where I'm sleeping and our child's upstairs. Not because of safety, not because he thinks there's drugs, not because there's a guy there, because there hasn't been anybody. Because God forbid, in 5 years, I haven't been able to date, even if I wanted to, which I don't. But like, even if I wanted to, what mind am I working with to make the sound decision of who's a safe man to be around when I don't even know yet, because that's not my priority. I just want help, dude. I don't know what help, but I know there's other women that go through this. The way we move is a survival guide to the next girl following behind us. That's what I was about. I made flyers like a year ago. I got to find them, like pamphlets, tried to put them everywhere. Surviving survival is what I called it. And it was like a little pamphlet. They don't provide you with your rights. This is what you do. You got to say, if you want that restraining order, girl, do not hold back. You need to say you're in fear. He's gonna fucking kill you in that affidavit. Don't go to court alone. Don't go in the same car, the same route. Fix your strike plate on your fucking door. Put nails so that your windows can't get opened. Put anti-shatter film. Little things I had to find on my own. Booby traps like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, dude. Like, that's where my mind was like old school. I had to tell my neighbors. None of them gave a shit, dude. They all looked like inbred fucking morons, except for one of them who had my back. I had a fugitive fucking the guys that come in like SWAT, like the apprehension unit. The top dog captain try to manipulate me for a sexual favor and shit like that to get a police report. That's the top dude, and that means you showed up at my house, which was a protected fucking address, and he's not here. I didn't know he was out of jail. I didn't know anything, but you swarmed my house looking for him and like try to come in under false pretenses and then hit me up after like a creep.
That's disgusting.
And like, yeah, he's older. That's a domestic violence, and I didn't know what was going on, so he could see all my shit. That means I'm part of his caseload, just because my abuser is, and like I'm a known person that he could be coming after. It's why they show up, I guess. But to be like a creep, none of them cared. I called, said it on the recording line, said his fucking name. Have the text messages, have pictures of him showing up at my fucking house from my neighbor taking pictures of it.
So you're already being fucking stalked by a lunatic, and then law enforcement decides they want to throw their shit in there too?
It wasn't even just law enforcement, it's the apprehension unit, because the cops have never been creeps to me. The actual like police that are coming in, I know a lot of people have issues. I've never had an issue with them, and I never would. No matter what they say or do, as long as they show up, I don't care.
So
I literally don't care.
Who is
so like the guys that go looking for America's Most Wanted type guy. So they're not SWAT, the Fugitive Apprehension Unit. That's what they're called. So like someone, a missing criminal, they bring the dogs and the U.S. Marshals, they'll kick the door in.
Oh, it's like an outside, it's like a private.
It's like SWAT, but like
contractors.
No, I know they're like cops, I think, but like he used to be a corrections officer for 20 years, and then I think he became like a fucking, I don't know, some type of cop, and now he's like the captain of it's like a U.S. I don't want to say what the wrong one, but it's a Fugitive Apprehension Unit. So they'll be like, this is 10 most wanted in Massachusetts. They come and get them. So they're an elite team, is what I would say, of like fat old drunken Irish immigrant looking guys. Like that's what they look like, and like he just is an old. I was like, he's probably married. Calling me like I'm like I just knew it, you know what I mean? Because I'm not an idiot. So I was just like, ew, dude, ew, this is how this goes down. This is how it goes down. Like I was like flattered a little bit, being like, this has never been approached like this before. But it's almost like, what is wrong with you that you're a predator on that level, that you see a woman, and I wasn't in distress, I was pissed the fuck off, like, way to tell me he's out of jail. He ain't fucking here, dude. Come on in, but you're not bringing your dog. Like acting like everyone thought I was like some lunatic because the team would come in. And I'm like, they're not here for me. Like I didn't do anything. That could fuck my housing up because he's got warrant after warrant after warrant.
Oh, right. So that's like embarrassing for you with your neighbors.
They let him out. The cops arrest him. Yeah, thank God it was in housing. So it was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I'm not the only person that the cops have been there. I just didn't come out in the cuffs. But it was embarrassing. My daughter's there, and I'm like, get the boy out of the back. You guys are fucking dramatic. They didn't, I'm like, did you check his mom's? No, his mom, blah, blah. I'm like, well, he totaled her car in 2019, so the car's not there. Called the mom. He's on the couch sleeping. I'm like, did your fucking job, bro. Go get him. Like, so simple and ridiculous. Like, you come to, it's just like things like that. So they will provide you with a solution sometimes. So you open that door and it's a fucking brick wall. It really is from top to bottom. And I'm still finding stuff out. So when I spit
I
it out at people, and
understand that all of these systems that no one communicates with each other, but Jesus
none.
fucking Lord Christ, his mother doesn't have small children
Yeah.
there. They can't fucking bother her first. You're
Right.
already
And the thing,
in distress
yeah,
and stalked
they
and
don't care.
bothered and like, and then you got a
Yeah.
bunch of men coming to your door like that. No, and in front of your kid.
But like they
fucking
said they were the
fuck.
plumber. I thought they were the plumber because the housing had just been there. So I said, oh, you're the plumber. And they were like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they came in and then they pulled a badge out. I was like, I went right to like white trash cops. You know what I mean? Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my house. You fucking weirdos. Come back with a fucking warrant. How about that? Come back with a fucking warrant. I slammed the door and they came back with a warrant the next day, and the dogs and shit like that. And the whole time I'm like, they just look at you like you're lying. I'm like, I call you motherfuckers. I call you. Help. He's never just in here lamping up. It's not a thing. He's not here like relaxed. He's watching my every motherfucking move because I'm telling him,
Oh, they think that
bitch, you
you're
gotta
like,
fucking kill him.
they think you're
Like hiding
him.
him.
Yeah.
And I get it. Women have done it.
Right.
I've let him out before, even when he's there violating. I've like opened the door and be like, run out the fucking back, dude. Just don't come back. But he comes back. And in my mind, I'm like, maybe he'll get out and be all right. Like, just fuck off. But does he? Like, because that doesn't keep me safe. I don't think he can know where we are, period. Because he
Right.
shows up and they'll come in your home, and I just would never breach someone's home. So it's an overwhelming feeling of watching the system fail while telling you they're doing a good job. Because the cops will arrest them. You say they got a warrant, cops will arrest them. They may not always go out and look for them, but they'll find them eventually. They always come across them doing something fucking shady. They'll run the name, then they got warrants and he's gone, right? They do their job. They might not do it eloquently or gracefully, but they're walking into scary fucking situations. That's how I feel. So I respect law enforcement, regardless of anything. But it's like after them, right? You have to have a victim advocate at that police station to reach out to you. And they provide you with your rights so that you're aware of it. That's if they even have it. That's on the whatever domestic violence organizations in that county that is the main head bitch in charge. Is what I found out. So they do all the supposed to do all the training or get grant money, and they talk about it on the website. They do the training for all these officials, every court official, anybody in the community, survivors. Like, they don't offer you any solutions. They haven't done it since before 2021, I just found out. But it's like, she also told me, because I'm like, I don't want to be sitting around. I would rather get certifications. And will you guys pay for it? Well, we provide the training, she said. And I go, but you don't. You haven't done it. So she's like, well, we'll get on it. I waited a year and was like, see, you don't fucking do the training, dude. Right. And so don't stop telling me you do it. But they get grant money because she wrote a grant for me to get hired. She wrote a grant like that. It got okayed. And it was like, as an outside organization, coordinator of the Domestic Violence Advisory Board, which means I kick doors and fucking yell about shit. So like they bring me in when they're upset.
That grant was for the training?
Was for to pay me money for the shit I do.
Good.
Like for me doing the fucking, they got a donation from the church when I did the the visual, the silent witness display. But I also did all the data for the White Ribbon event, which was like all the women and kids that had died due to male violence, like homicide, domestic violence, whatever the fuck it was, all in July 15th until I think it was March, whatever the eclipse was. It was the day of. So I did it. It was like 32 people or something like that, 30, whatever. It's gone up so many more just since March. That's from July of last year until now. It's been like at least 40 women in my little 39 in my little area, my little fucking Massachusetts state. And they're just acting like crime's down. They don't care. because no one calls them on their shit. Nobody. Look at there's a woman being framed right now in Massachusetts, Karen Reed in Norfolk County. That's a whole nother ballgame, but this is a woman they're saying kills her cop boyfriend. And there's a clear cover up from top to bottom. She paid some fucking gangster ass defense attorneys, and they're not even having a spin a web. These witnesses, I'm telling you right now, it's just watching what they did to this lady. They're so openly just operating on willful ignorance. And it's like, we need to fucking do something about this. And women are broken, and I know not everyone's the same. Fuck off, dude. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Something needs to happen.
What is going to happen to, well, not what would happen to your daughter if something happened to you?
I think in my will, it said that she would go with my second husband, but I don't want her there anymore.
Obviously.
You know, so it's like, who would take her? No idea. No idea. My cousin lives in New Hampshire, who just had a baby at like 70 years old. Sorry, Kat, but you did. She just had a baby, right? So she's got a lot going on. But I left her with all these letters that I had pre-written from my son and my two daughters that was like, open on this day. And it's just a letter from me being like, you're amazing. Just all different, like if they graduate, prom, married, if they had a baby, all these things, or just to tell them like, I'm so, just talking to them.
You've done
And
that?
it's like, yeah, I have them. I left them with my cousin, so she has them already. That's like they can only open and get them if something happens to me. I had accidental death, like life insurance for my daughter, because I'm like, she's gonna have nobody. She's gonna literally go to the state. She won't go to his family. His family loses. They don't want kids. They're like drug addicted idiots, all of them. Like there's just abuse going on, sexual child abuse. I feel like shit goes down, right? And I don't care. Fucking sue me, dude. Let that shit come out. I don't give a fuck. I recognize it because I've been through it. Some weird, nefarious shit went on, and that's how they are. She would never go to them because it's put in writing. She can never go to them.
Yeah.
Where would she go, though? I don't know. Maybe probably a woman that's also running from her fucking abusive guy would take her. That's my best. My best bet is one of the survivors would take her if they could. That's shitty knowing that at 39 years old, I had this little girl who wants a dad. She talks about, all these things, and it's like having to run through a safety plan with her since she was 3.5. And let's just be real. There's no such thing. You fucking go when you can go, but getting your kid out at the same time is the most difficult thing I've ever had to do in my life. And every time I feel like there's a guardian angel with me. So I don't know how to do it, but I know that there's things and people that have saved my life by just showing up. So I ran, and just so happened they were right there and jumping in their car, or like doing a wellness check because they're a little worried about me, or just bringing me to the doctors when I needed to go, just going out of their way, letting me stay there with the baby. And that's putting them at risk because he could go to their house. So there's people that have saved my life. I'm grateful for them, but that was just them literally just being like, I would want someone to do this for me. I could never look at someone in distress like that, no matter what. But it gets to the point that I'm disconnected from it, that I don't expect shit from anybody. People talk to me about the future, and a symptom is like, I don't see a hopeful future. It's extremely difficult for me to ever think that anything's going to go in a direction of like, I'm going to make it to like 43 years old or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and they make you think that way. Like, they're like, that's the only realistic part of it is when they're like, could you move? I've had police officers ask me, could I go? Like, and I have. Move where? With what? Like, how? When the state fucks you and all these things. Like, they served me an eviction notice because I was making so much noise about this black mold where I am. This guy broke through the window, broke my door. It's been so many times I provided them with all the information that she got so upset because I was reporting this lady. She sent me a 14-day to quit notice because I'm like, fuck you. The place is falling apart in this black mold. I'm not paying you shit. Fix it. I was within my rights to do that. I called the Department of Health after I wasn't getting help. Anything I've done, anything I could. The head investigator went into the housing office like, hey, did you serve this witness with this? Because that's illegal. She's a victim of a crime because of domestic violence in this house. You can't remove her for that.
And she said it was by accident, but she had me served by a fucking constable, like cop, like 3 times. And it got mailed to me. So she lied. And she could put that on my record. It's just like, I don't have a chance because you got no community helping you. And anytime you ask for help, it's like, oh, people say grifting.
Right.
Grifting. It's not grifting, dude. I just don't have another option. I just don't know what else to do. You know, people say shit and it makes you feel uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, there's been women on Twitter, a mom that got her eye taken. Listen to how crazy this is. I don't know what else happened to her. I never met her. We just had the same advocate, like the high risk homicide advocate. This woman, ex broke in, she had a restraining order. He took a bite of flesh from her artery, took her fucking eye, took her eye out of her head, and bashed her teeth in. Are you fucking nuts? What did you just say to me? Took her motherfucking eye. And then the only thing this girl asked for, I found out, because I go, what does she need? What does she need to make her? Does she know? I got her like see like this little red bracelet I had gotten blessed at this shrine I go to last let. I like gave it to the advocate to be like, please give this to her. And it had a little like guardian angel token, like rub this, like there's women in this with you. And if you ever want like someone else, some real women to come with you, I'll rally them and we'll fucking show up wherever the fuck you are and do whatever you feel comfortable with. But we got you. There's women that recognize you and without knowing her name or nothing. I found that out. I'm like, what does she need? That she's like, oh, she just keeps asking for a crib. I'm like, imagine being in recovery. You got a 5-month-old baby and a 2-year-old, and you're asking for a crib. For you to ask for it, you must fucking need it. So you know what? A woman on Twitter, never, I don't think I've even talked to her, saw all my shit, heard me talking about it. She fucking paid. She was like from Russia or something. Paid for a local Target, bought a brand new mattress, 2 bed sheet things for me to just go pick them up at Target. This other girl gave me the crib, like the actual crib, gorgeous crib. Within a day, I had that shit from women on Twitter, not from the women in the local organization because they all were fucking stupid.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That means that she needs to put that baby down so she could walk away. She's got one fucking eye. Are you fucking serious, dude? He took a chunk. Like, is that real? And I'm looking, and it's not going to be in the paper because domestic violence is usually, unless you get killed, it's protected. My
Well,
shit
and
was in the paper.
especially if your family doesn't have money
Yeah.
and they're not going to make a stink with the press, nothing's going to happen because that's the only time you ever see it. It's when
But
you
it's
see the
getting
whole
the press
family.
to care.
Yeah.
Like, even getting the press to care. Like, I just read the article, and you can look it up on the Plymouth Independent. Andrea Estes, shout out to you not doing your job fully. So you look it up, and it'll say inmate free calls, and you see all like the people, like the social justice morons that think that that's a real thing. It's fucking not. It's not real. Social justice isn't real because you can't selectively choose who's going to get it. And the guys that are killing us, they don't fucking deserve. They're not rehabilitated. He has been said repeatedly, there are no conditions upon which this defendant will abide or comply with laws, regulations, or rules put in place. That means lock the motherfucker up.
Forever.
Because this has been his whole life. He's in jail. His whole life.
How old is
in
he?
and out. He's a year older than me, so he's 40.
He's 40. So what's the status right now? I know things are.
So I did the objection, apparently. She was like, you did the objection. So it was me not knowing what the fuck I was doing.
And the objection is don't let him out.
Don't go. Yeah. Well, no, don't extract my motherfucking phone records as a witness and the victim of the crime.
Okay.
Why do you need to extract them from a date? May. He got arrested in December. He wants my records from November of that year to fucking May the next. This guy has been in jail since December 2021. Why do you want my records to go way? He was in jail. There was no crime. He wasn't even getting charged with that real crime yet. He just had the misdemeanors because he went to jail for something and then committed crime after crime. So they're investigating. More was coming out. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I was like, I don't even want to do this. Why don't I want to do this? Not because it isn't true, but because all it's doing is poking him. All it's doing is making him think I'm a fucking loser that's gonna to die, pretty much. Like, I'm not a human. I'm a problem now. I would be chill with him, dude. I'm a chill fucking person. I don't want any smoke or any issues. I just want everyone to be able to live. I don't want him to have to be in prison, but if you can't not kill me, you got to go.
Yeah.
It's self-preservation at this point. But when they're assisting him, it's fucked. And I don't even know how to say it. There's so many things wrong, but I'm in it, watching it. And how I got in was stroking someone's narcissism. Thank you so much for all you do in your job. You're really just impressive. And I love your shirt. Killing it today, girl. That's like the shit you got to do. It's like groveling.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be like, fucking come here, because it's like, where's your money going?
Yeah.
I don't want to die. This is life or death. No one cares about your paper cut. It's like a mother to another human. Like, these are my kids. You don't care about me. You don't like me. Look at my kids. They're fucking great. What do you think they're going to do if their mom dies? How do you think that affects them?
And not just dies, but gets murdered.
Miserably, like
And-
chopped up, thrown away.
And it's preventable.
And the thing is like, I get if somebody doesn't know what stuff about this, or they're not fond, whatever the fucking case is, that they're ignorant to it, right? I got so much fucking paperwork on this. There is no fucking way this is just me making shit up for any type of attention. There's so many police reports, so many fucking news articles, and such a history of violence with him that predates us. Like, it's provable. And like, I'm worth it. I'm worth somebody to take the time to fucking read about it and look, holy shit. If you saw the amount that I've had to go through, it's like, how the fuck why should anyone have to deal with this to this level? Extreme amount.
Yeah.
It goes right to extreme. Hostage, SWAT, fucking rape. I mean, it's the real deal. Wow, I got my child with me, my baby. Dude, I
Did
don't
we
stand a
talk
chance.
about
Like,
did we talk about the kidnapping hostage thing? Did you tell
yeah,
me about
I
that?
think we did. Well, it's a lot. I mean, I've been the SWAT's come in so many times, but yeah, 2018 was when I suffocated her and I escaped and all that.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but then it was and then I said it was 2021. It was like a boom outside. Like, I thought maybe I didn't know what was happening. It was like the whole house was shaking. And he's like, I know you got another fucking dude. Like, he was screaming, and I was like, oh my God, it's him. And I couldn't even move. My brain was like, bitch, get up. Get the fuck up. Get the baby. But he was running around going to the front door, pounding, trying to get it, and then running around going to the back door. So it was like, I didn't even know where to go. And by the time I even did all that, I heard the window pop, but it didn't open. And then he just came down to the door and attacked me. And like, I mean, he came rushing me like a football player. And I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? And he just tuned me up. Yeah. I mean, and in his mind, it could be for whatever reason. Oh, I took benzos. Not my fucking problem, dude. Why do you come to my house? Stop coming here. So then it was like harassment again, started the cycle, but while not dating him. So it's like, do I just have to deal with this until he kills me? Like, just let him out at this point. Let him the fuck out and let's roll the dice. Because I'd rather go to battle with my eyes open than fucking sleeping.
Right,
know?
because you're afraid they're going to let him out and not tell you.
Or they're just
Again.
going to let him out anyways. Yeah, because now that they're extracting everything, he's asking maybe for a plea deal. It's like, if somebody gets up there and he sees every fucking thing on my phone, my kids are at such a big risk. So he's putting my kids at life. Well, and it's embarrassing. I'm already up there talking about this. Why does he need any of that when I didn't? There's been no communication between me. There's been no attempt. I just want him to leave me alone. Why is my shit out there? Now he knows where I am. Now he knows everything. He'll know everything. Other survivor stuff, because I'm their advocate. So that they're gonna find sensitive information. And he's put my stuff on the dark web before. He's a fucking nightmare. Took my dad's identity. He's fucked. And you're gonna ask the defense attorney to fuck. I'm like, he's fishing, dude. There's nothing here. We have all these lawyers that could help. No, they don't. You gotta pay them or they don't fucking help you. I don't care what resources anyone's gonna say. It doesn't work. I've signed up for every fucking resource I can have. It doesn't work. I check all the boxes and I'm eligible for all of them. Every single one of them. Doesn't matter. Because it's not real. They're fucking funneling money. They're laundering it. It's dirty fuck. I don't know where it's going. Not to us, though.
Yeah.
They're not getting grants or resources. It's from the top to the bottom. And like, I have no issue. I don't never want to go to the legislature again. But we'll never go to the state house again because it's a game. It's a game of like, who has the biggest micro penis?
Right.
Big fuck. I don't want to play that game.
And you have
And,
another court date coming up, right?
July 2nd to find out if the judge took is going to decide if this motherfucker can get it.
And then what happens after that?
And then guess what? If they're going to extract my phone, I'm going to be like, I'm not participating. You're not getting me on the stand. I'm not doing it because you're serving me to this dude on a platter. I know, and I don't even know what you can really get. I know you can get almost everything from the phone in an extraction, but it's based off of nothing. And the DA is not my lawyer. She represents the state. But what she did, she didn't fight. She wanted me to do it. And everyone thinks because I can come across like passionate. Judges don't fucking care.
No.
There's no right way I address a judge. They don't like me. They like him usually even less. It's the good thing. But it's me. And I go, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know why they expect me to act like I'm a fucking lawyer. Oh, you can object. Object, Your Honor. What the fuck does this look like? Is this fucking Hollywood? Are we fucking playing a game here? And they don't give me a lawyer. I need a lawyer so that my rights are intact. Because they fuck you, dude. If I had a lawyer, they would fucking nip it in the bud. Like, no, you're not doing that. And I had to look up what a lawyer would tell a victim of a crime. So I'm like, no to the defense interview. But I only know that, thank God, through the websites of defense attorneys. I love defense attorneys. I love them. Even though, like, I see how they work, they fascinate. It's a skill. A good one, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like they put out the most information on rights and stuff like that, even for victims.
So the thing that would be most helpful for you in the immediate is a lawyer.
Or like even somebody with knowledge that could fucking just do me a favor so I could do it for myself. But I can't have all this information at once while I'm dealing with my own fear. Because like I'm gonna be in front of him. He's gonna be able to reach me. Like that in itself, I should have guards around me.
Mm-hmm.
He's it. Like he'll be able to snap my neck if he wanted to. I don't have big bad dudes coming with me to court. Nobody wants any fucking part of it. Nobody. All these dudes that are like, let me know. It's like, yeah, do it. Fucking do it. Go ahead. They don't mean shit. Nobody comes to court. I go alone. I go by myself when I go. There's nobody. And so like, oh, feel bad for me. It's like, do better. If you hear a woman going through it, go to fucking court with her, dude. Go to court with her because it's horrible. It's like takes one thought for me to be like, I don't want to do this. I recant every fucking thing. Let him out. Because I'd rather do that and know that shit's coming than have it happen in court with idiots that are in this fucking pew getting false information about it. I never reacted. There's never been anything on me except for he shows up at my home that he has never lived in. It's new addresses. That's the thing that I don't get. He's never moved with me or been on a lease. So like it's all these injuries that happen after just by people being cunts. And then you go on Twitter and you hear this fucking bullshit. It's like all these people have intelligence, right? All of them. All the self-proclaimed academics that want to talk about their fucking papers they write and their fucking reports and I don't give a shit about. They still matter. If they just shut the fuck up and they listen to lived experience, and I don't like that term either. But I'm telling you right now, I'd rather listen to somebody that's gone through it than somebody that just read a book. Because you got to connect on a human level. I don't even need anyone to believe everything I'm saying. Just believe it's fucking bad enough I'm talking about it. Bad enough, dude. Like, I just want my kids to be okay.
But it's not like
Go ahead.
there's any glamour to this. I don't know.
Exactly. Like, you don't get like, I know, but that's how people are. They want that.
Let's say you found out a month from now that he's going to be released and you had enough time to escape. Would you have money for a plane ticket to get somewhere?
No, fuck no, dude. I'd drive my car until it fucking died. I'd drive my car until it ran out of gas. That's what would happen, which would probably be 30 miles because the gas light would probably be fucking on. Let's be real. And it's like, I don't have that. I just know I got to get out.
And so your other kids are with your ex, but not the youngest one. So you would have to take the youngest one with you.
Yep. She stays with me. Yep.
Okay. That's good to know.
It's just like sometimes you need someone to just be like, come through. You know what I mean? Just fucking come here, dude. But like, if it's across the fucking pond, it's not going to happen. Let's be real. I need a passport. And just even me going to get a passport, it's like too much for my brain. Okay.
That's a whole other thing. You have to fill out the application. There's money involved. You either have to go there and get your picture taken. Then you have to take, I know it's just a pain in the asshole.
And like, I think it's just so much to do. Do we need them? Probably should have them. But it's just like, I don't know what the solution is. I just know that I just feel stuck.
Yeah.
It's been like almost 3 years of me going with the prosecution for this. He didn't show up to court over and over and over and over again in the records. It's like habeas corpus in person, meaning as an inmate being brought in, and he would refuse. So many hearings, back to back to back, and the judge would put in person in capital letters, and they get fucked. I'm not coming. So, and prolonged it for a very long time. Like, on purpose.
You're not prevented from leaving the state though because of custody or anything with your other kids, right?
No,
So
I
you
have full
could
custody,
escape
yeah.
if someone had a spot for you.
Yeah.
You could run if you had to. All right.
Right. Yeah, but it's hard to know who the fuck is safe, dude. Like, it
Yeah.
sucks. It sucks. There's not a lot of East Coast. I have like a friend in Canada that's always like, I'll come meet you, and I know she will.
Mhm.
My best friend lives in Florida, but like, she's got her own shit going on, I guess. I don't know. Maybe she's got a new boyfriend. People that don't understand it because she can't think of something bad happening to me. It like breaks her heart. She said it would overtake her. But at the same time, fuck you, because I'm gonna die, and you just sat there with your eyes closed. Is how I feel about it. And I love her too. But these are the things that I've been told. It's like, I don't care about anyone's feelings on the matter.
Yeah.
Why the fuck
Well,
would
it
I? Are
doesn't
you in
matter.
court?
You're
Like,
you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Where like you need
Right.
like shelter, like your bottom isn't even you're nowhere
Right.
near having them met. You don't even have the motherfucking foundation.
I know.
People don't understand that. I mean, there's a reason they teach all that to,
after
psychology
having it
majors.
though, after owning a home. I've owned homes. And the thing is, like, you get divorced, dude, you lose shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Gave him the house. Just a nightmare that I had all these things. Like, I bought myself a vehicle. Like, I was really good, like working in like the recovery field when I'm not for that anymore, but I worked in there, and I did so good. And I was like just doing good, just like going and like volunteering at the school on days off, like being a member of the community, helping women, helping them file paperwork if I could. Not purposely hurting anybody, but also like, I don't fucking know everything. And I need to be told sometimes, you don't fucking know everything. I'm trying to know. I'm trying. So it's like you get told a lot of problems. And like, at least I know, like, I can find little solutions. It's a part of healing for me. Like, so I need to know that data right now. I need to find out exactly how much of an increase in domestic violence related charges have been since fucking they got the free inmate calls. Because now I just need to literally know that, because it will make a piece of the puzzle. So I'm like, oh, for some reason it's like, oh, well, it went up 300%. But guess what? It went up 80% or something like that in domestic related calls. Just no one's getting to the bottom of it. And I just feel like a lot of women are left behind, and we feel like nothing. I watch them. I'm like, I literally have no training. Let's go fucking put our heads through the wall, bitch. Let's do this. Let's ride to the dawns. Because we don't know what I can't sit around and cry in a circle. All right, get your feelings out, fucking wipe it off, and get the fuck on. You have every right to feel how you feel, but channel it, dude. Channel it, because shit.
When you're talking about training, what kind of training are you talking about? Like how to get through the system and all of the little
anything so that you get certified. You got to be certified in certain shit here to like matter, to like get in the fucking shit, right? Because like, no matter if I go to a reporter, they're like, who are you? I'm like, just fucking
Oh, so you want like some kind of
it's like
credential.
credentials or some shit.
Got it.
Yeah, but they also do teach you like up-to-date ways of maybe like getting someone their abuser's record, getting someone their abusers the records they're entitled to, like probation records, all these things that we don't know we can have. Because then we know who the fuck the perpetrator is, where the fuck their PO is, how to get in touch with their probation officer if this guy acts up. There's ways that you have to help us keep us safe, or we're completely dependent on you and you're not doing your job.
Right. You need to know which phone calls to make, and then you need, when you make those phone
Right,
calls,
but
for
if we're
those people to
provided with it,
actually
we'll do it
listen
for
to
us.
you.
Right, and a
Right.
lot of the women just won't even call because like you're so rude to us. Like they're so rude, or like they give you the wrong number. I get told all the time, we don't do that. I'm like, I literally see it on your website. I'm looking at it right now. You do this. We don't do it since yesterday. Like the shit that they do is so fucking stupid that I'm like, because they're hoping that you're so broken, you just won't call them out on it. And not only that, who the fuck's gonna care about us?
Yeah.
We didn't all come from some area where we had children wicked young, or we ran the streets, or we were hookers, or we were this. So nobody, we're just women, dude. We're women, and like this shit happens to us. You
Yeah.
could be married and it happens from a random guy when you're walking. And it's not every fucking guy. It doesn't matter if it's every guy or not. It's enough of them that you should be aware of it.
Yeah.
You can't think of it. Well, I don't want to think of it either, but I don't have that fucking option. Like, women still call me about shit, and I'll never not answer them no matter what I'm going through. Like, there's just women out there that are just literally in the war. Everyone's bitching about getting drafted. We're fighting on our own fucking land already. Everyone's just fucking sleeping on us.
And it's another one of those things. It's exactly like all the gender bullshit where they're leaving women to fight the battle against men yet again.
Right. And the gender bullshit has all the women that are in the domestic violence rape field with them.
Right.
So, bitch.
Yeah.
So I already know. I already know when I see that triangle. Going in, I know. You're the fucking enemy. That's what I look like. You're at war on me. And I know because I say it to them. Say it to them. And they know I don't care about politics. I don't give a fuck who you vote for. Don't fucking come at me with this bullshit like you're doing. They're like waving and getting awards, and like you're getting an award from your colleagues that also fucking suck. Good fucking job. Congratulations on failing women. It's true. It's horrible. It's
Who's
bad
getting
what they do
awards?
to
Who do you
women.
mean?
Oh, like the fucking manager of victim advocates in the county. She got like a 25-year excellence award. So you better believe I put it in all the fucking complaints. Like, so glad your colleagues gave you an award. You know what I mean? None of us even know who you are. And the ones that do have nothing nice to say about services you provide.
Wow.
And these women usually don't want an issue. Like, they're like, don't say I said anything, because like they don't want retaliatory efforts on them when they're just trying not to die. Because these women will fuck you. And I'm just like, bitch, don't even worry about it. And I sign my name my name's on everything. I want them to fucking know. Yep, bitch, I fucking told on you. I fucking ratted you out. I complained, and you can come and fucking see me if you want, and we could have a conversation about it. One of us is wrong, and one of us is funny. You know what I mean? I'm the funny. And like the reality is like, I only came for you, bitch, because we're dying. It's like, I don't have time for this. So I was like, I just used all the words. You know what I mean? It was just like, you are very good at looking busy at doing nothing. Like, it's a word salad as a human being. You're useless. I'm so glad you got that. You should just go retire with the rest of your fucking liberal friends and just fuck all the way off, and let the women that are doing, I'm having a fight against them. You know that, right? Like, well, you can't go to court with a victim. Like, fuck, I can't, dude. I already was there. What do you mean? I'm taking your clients. We have other women talking about, because these groups are doing nothing for us, the domestic violence support groups, and we all see each other and connect. It's the up
Right.
above us, right? So this other girl's working with like the Salvation Army. He's like, we're just gonna start doing our own domestic violence groups and take all those fucking women from there, and we're just gonna tell them what their rights are. Like, that's what I've been fighting for. Let me just train us and say, this is the victim bill of rights. This is how it makes sense to me. Maybe it'll make sense to you, because I don't come across as condescending to these women. I'm assertive and I straight to the point. They don't need to listen to a million things. They need to hear, you could fucking die, bitch. Remember this. So when you say I'm supposed to not have I'm supposed to have a separate waiting area from this person, or the prosecutor is entitled, like I'm entitled to have my say. Those are things that you could quote. It's the law, bitch. And if not, I'll come with you and I'll fucking quote it, because they roll their eyes when they see me, because I'm coming in there with the rights on my forehead. Because
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I never was one to deal well with being bullied until I'd snap. And these women just want to be moms, and I see them, and they just want to be moms, all different colors, all different sizes. We have a woman, I love her so much. She makes me laugh so hard. I don't know what she says. She's from Mexico. And so she speaks broken English, but she's always laughing so hard. So whatever she's saying is fucking funny. It makes me laugh. Don't know what she's saying. But there's a connection there where I love her. Her boys, you know what I mean? Like, they don't deserve to die. They're trying to find these little rays of sunshine, and it's usually just dark humor. I usually just have to say something completely inappropriate about stuff, and they'll laugh because they can't believe somebody's talking like that. I don't care. You're not going to have a pissing match with me because you want to be the best at your job with your fucking stupid fucking, their little signs all over the place. And I'm like,
Degrees and
give us,
whatnot.
I can't. I want to smash them because they're unethical, is what they are. And whatever they're doing, they're not allowed to fully do their job if they're the go-to. because they can't be like, hey, this cop maybe was inappropriate, whatever it was, or hey, this advocate is not providing them with the rights. They are not allowed to do that. My homicide advocate on the Zoom, it was muted on court. I said, she's like, it's muted. I said, to call the fucking courthouse that you work at. And she was like, I'm not allowed to. What the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? I'm like, oh, cool. I'll just continue doing your job. I called. It was a civil situation. So it got, and then she's like, what's the date? I'm like, can you just go fuck yourself and stop bothering me at this point? Because I have 4 advocates. One of them's for when I die. Get fucked, dude. Get fucked. Where's my help? Where's the money for a car or to get AC or heat in my car? Because I drove the whole winter with my kids in the car, no fucking heat. Guess what? Bundle up, bitches. This is how good life is. I just can't get out of it, apparently.
Yeah.
And people wonder why shit happens. Like, people wonder why women go and do crazy things for money. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like one step away from a robbery at this point. That's literally how I feel. It's like, what else do I have to fucking do? We get nothing. And then my kids watch me on this level of, I mean, I've been all over the fucking papers. I've been doing this. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because of the subject. That's why. For some reason, people think that I'm not up here Me Tooing it. I'm not a feminist. I'm not nothing. I'm not you know what I am? I'm a fucking mom that doesn't
You're a
want to
mom.
die. It doesn't want men in my kids' spaces or my spaces are taking from us. I also don't want all testosterone up fucking women in my son's spaces. How about that? You love a woman? Fucking rock on. Guess what? My mom turned gay for a little bit and then turned back for a few years. Not a big deal. I have friends that are lesbians. I have gay men that are fucking friends. Not an
God.
issue.
Who was I about to be gay for yesterday?
Oh God, there's so many of them. So many for me.
It was somebody I almost posted about it. It was, they looked so, I was like, if I was going to be gay, this would be it right
You're
here.
it.
I
You're
don't
like
fucking
spank
remember who it
bank
was
picture.
though.
Who cares? She looked good. You'll remember and then tweet about that shit because you know
I'm
what?
definitely into butch. Like when the girl with the dragon
They'll
tattoo, not
fool
the
ya.
European
Don't
one.
even go me going. You don't gotta tell. You get me grind my gears right now. I know what you're talking about. The ones that smell like cologne, right? The ones that come in, they got some fucking swag on them.
Yeah.
They give you a little
just-
cuddle and it makes you feel, and then you feel the tits and you're like, it's the girl. But the thing is, I like the butches too. They're hot.
Yeah.
They're hot.
Remember when, oh, I know who it was. I know who it was. Have you seen Drea De Matteo's new fucking OnlyFans? She's what's her face from The Sopranos?
Is that the Christopher's wife?
Christopher.
She's
So-
hot. She's always been hot.
Okay, so she's I think 45 or 48.
Yeah, she is.
Something
Yeah.
like that. And she's just started doing OnlyFans and she's making a shit ton of, now she's using a professional photographer and all of these things. She's not showing her tits or her vagina or her butt crack, but she's taking really gorgeous pictures and it's blowing the fuck up. Anyway, I saw her say a video.
Oh,
it was
good for
a
her, bitch.
clip of her out. There's a special on Hulu about it. Google it later. It's so, you're like,
I
get
love
it,
her.
bitch, get it.
Always. Who gives a fuck? She was a gangster always like that
Oh
bitch.
my God,
Always
she
liked
looks
her.
so good. But it's a clip of her saying, how are people going to vote for Joe Biden when A, B, and
Right.
C? And
I
she's
saw
just
it.
like ripping.
I saw
You
her.
saw it?
I saw her. She had the hat on. I've
That
seen
was
her
it.
ass. I love
Yesterday,
her.
I was
She's
like,
in my
that,
algo.
I'm a lesbian all of a
I
sudden.
think she was on. I think.
Yep.
Christopher. She was
Yep.
on Roseanne, I think. She was on somebody. I just watched her on a podcast because she was talking about about certain things that happened, whatever canceled her, whatever the fuck happened. And I was just like, she's always been such a smoke show, dude. Such a smoke.
God, yeah.
Good
She's
for
my
her.
type. She's my type.
Oh, she's not butch
That's
though.
my
She's very
type.
feminine.
She's not butch. No, it was more,
Her attitude.
Well, did you ever see her? And I guess what reminded me of that is, did you ever see a movie that she was in with Gina Gershon where they were rock stars? But they were
Why do I
like
feel like I've seen it?
aging. They were like
Yes.
aging rock stars.
What was the name of it?
So I don't remember, but Gina Gershon was also one of my first lesbian crushes. When she came out in Bound with Jennifer Tilly or Meg Tilly, whoever the fuck that was.
Dude, no clue.
It's from the late 80s or early 90s, but it's a lesbian
I was
movie.
watching. I was a Hulkamaniac, bitch. I was watching like, yeah, brother. I was like, I wish I could have gotten into that shit, but I was fucking with
Gina
like
Gershon
the
is-
Undertaker and shit. I was like, fucking.
But she's the butch in that relationship, even though they're both still very femme. If you think about butches today that are actually trying to look like dudes, but
I know
anyway,
it ruined it. It ruined it for all the basketball playing butches out there that I love so fucking much. But all right, the kids are. I can hear them. I owe them $10.
Okay.
You see my shirt?
Does
It
it need
says
to be
we don't.
rewritten?
That it says we don't need to be rewrite it. It needs to be reread.
Nice.
Nice. I felt American. Oh my
It's
God, my hair,
very
dude.
patriotic.
She's now 13. She was 11, about to be 12. It was right before her birthday. She kept telling me over time that like her stepdad and her dad are like abusing her and shit like that. And but she'd tell me in line while we're out at a store. And so like just like mention things. And I was molested by my sister when I was younger. Like she's a serial child rapist. And she was removed from my house from it. She did it to the baby that was a neighbor that was a baby. She did it to my cousin David. She did it to countless people. And she went to prison she went to prison in Atlanta for running a sex trafficking ring. So she was in prison in Georgia for a very long time. And we don't talk to her, right? So I don't ever want to respond to my kids out of a place of my own shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I'd be out and trying to do things, and I'd be like, why don't you tell me when we get home? Because I'm so enraged at this point. I don't want to yell at her for her sharing what happened. Now, if my kid says something, I fucking believe it. I don't care. She's not lying. And anyone that said that was a red flag to me. Do you think she's doing it for attention? I go, regardless, even if she was, there's a reason.
Right.
There's always a reason. And
Yeah.
so since she disclosed abuse and I reported it and someone else reported it, he hasn't allowed her to see me. And so I went to court for contempt. He's in contempt and I didn't have a lawyer. So I'm against his lawyer that's dirty as fuck. And the judge just was like, it's at the discretion of her therapist that she barely sees. She sees her on Zoom. So the therapist met with me one time and wanted me to like go through this narrative with her that I was like, I don't know how to respond to a narrative that isn't true. She disclosed abuse to me. And when you disclose abuse, that's just what it is. Like you need to, I didn't call the police because what would have happened? The cops would have showed up, saw that he has a 5-acre giant house with his mom there, his wife there, his little kids there. They got goats and chickens. You can dress up abuse. I know him. He wasn't physically abusive to me, but he hates that she like looks just like me. Like she's like a feminist, like a hardcore, like reads feminine novels and shit like that. Like they're for all their shit. That's not from me. I didn't inspire that in her. She just did it once she saw domestic violence and what happens after. Everything happened at the same time. Like I'm fighting. He'd bring me when he knew something happened. So even though my daughter wasn't there, I'm in court with marks on my neck. You know what I mean? But now it's been so many years that this shouldn't count. Like I had just done the display. I went to court and the judge just hated me. It was 2 seconds. Now the GoFundMe was for a lawyer. And Taylor and Anna, after I found this out, because my daughter wrote it down, I said, why don't you, without anybody talking to you about it, here's a little notebook, just write down what you think of. You know what I mean? Write down to me what happened in a way that no one's asking you about it because I don't know the right question. So she did. And it was like, he sexualizes me. He's racist. He definitely is homophobic. He wants to do, he's hit her. They make her starve herself. She caught her stepmother like watching porn. He makes her feel uncomfortable. He tells her that I deserve to be beat up from Dave. That what he said to her was, the first time he hit your mom, that's on him. Every time after, your mother fucking deserved it. And that made her snap. She's never forgotten that. That was like 2 years ago. She was like, if he stalks her, he doesn't allow her to break up with him. What is she supposed to do? You know, and like he knows because I lived at his grandfather's house helping his grandfather on hospice. So he was dying and he died. And I did his care when we were homeless and we had nowhere to go. That's where I lived. My ex-husband's. Right. And that shows you got nobody. But that's where you're living with a baby that's not his.
Right.
And that's how close we were, though. Like, he was still my family. I love him till the day I die. I love my first husband till the day I die. No matter what they do to me, because they gave me babies. You know what I mean? So, like, in my mind, it's like, I'm a little bit more appreciative of them because of how bad my ex is, my stalker. You know what I mean? Like, I've never met a guy that actually doesn't want anything to do with his kids. Like, wants nothing to do with the kid unless you're with him, is what he said to me. And he'd use her. The second he
Yeah.
I got there with her, he's like, "You look good," blah 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 blah. You know, like the whole thing. And it's like he pays nothing. He's just a life of crime that's gonna keep going in and out. And like, so Taylor and Anna were like, "Do a GoFundMe," and I said, in my second divorce, my ex deposed me, and because my coworker saw I needed a lawyer, I paid. I had one up until I paid her like 10 grand. That was all I could come up with. I was a single mom working full time, like that was all I had. So she wasn't doing shit. She was not a good lawyer. I had to represent myself through the trial. So my coworkers tried to raise GoFundMe. They only raised like $600, but it helped. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They took that GoFundMe and deposed me on it. Like it was, she just put a brief wording on what was going on and they spun it. So after having that happen, because I know I'm going to go back into a battle with this motherfucker because I haven't seen my daughter, not for any other reason other than she disclosed abuse. You're definitely fucking abusing her then. If you don't want me to see her, he knows me. I would never put that in her head. I want them to have a relationship. I'm always respectful to his wife because she wakes up every day with my daughter. So I would never, ever set a tone where my daughter's going to pay for that because I love my kids way more than I hate my exes. I'm fucking emotional. I'm emotionally mature and I'm almost 40 years old, but I lived a long life and I've seen a lot of things. I've been married twice and I honored them both. They just weren't for me. The first one, Iraq fucked them up. You know what I mean? And probably the drugs could have been a part of it. So what they did was they were like, get the GoFundMe going, do a GoFundMe. And I said, I don't want it connected to me because I'm the one who has to go through all these things that, you know what I mean? So like I went through that. I don't want to connect it to me. And she was like, well, have Anna do it. So they set up a GoFundMe for me. These two women. Then they involved Candy, like K, female union. Sorry. And I was like, I kind of started getting a weird feeling, but I was like, I didn't know what was going on. It just happened. Like, I'm reading all this shit. What do I do? Because I knew if I said something, I'm not going to be able to see her. And the last thing she said to me was, you tell whoever you need to tell, and I will go in front of them. I just don't want to tell and be stuck living there after they know I told. And so it's exactly what happened to my baby. You know what I mean? Like, haven't got to kiss her little face, nothing. Like, she's my life. Her siblings are like, what the fuck? Meanwhile, my son works for her dad full time. Like they fuck with me like that. And but my son didn't like him when we were married and he doesn't like him now. The only thing is like I've always been cool with them. I've never lost my shit. I've taken a lot of fucking hits and my shit was out there. I'm running from this guy. My shit is out there. I've taken him back. I haven't. So they know everything. Their shit is not. But when you live with someone's family, you find out a lot of shit. Like they take steroids, right? Illegally. They're part of an extremist group, right? When he has guns 3D printed out and then goes into the woods with he's got one black best friend, they said. Black best friend that's white, that acts white. That was the words that were told to me. Whatever that means, because he's a racist in his fucking mind. That's what it means. They go to this place in the mountains or wherever they go. I think she said 6 yards in, drop their cell phones, and then go and illegally shoot. I know he traffics boatloads of marijuana from New Hampshire to Massachusetts as well as abuses his kid. And his wife's a fat whore. That's where I'm at. Is like, I don't care anymore because what do I have to lose? Like my daughter, everyone's like, you'll be able to see her when she gets older. I died giving birth to her. I'm missing every day of her fucking life. I haven't seen her since she turned 12 or 13. I mean, no, she's not 13 yet. I don't even know. That's the thing. It's like, it's been 1 year. So she was 11, 12. So I don't even know. That's so bad. It's like my brain. And it's like all throughout that.
Explain it to me one more time. She was going to report abuse on your ex?
She told me.
She did.
She told me.
She told
wrote
you.
it down.
And then you guys didn't report it.
We did. I reported it to Department of Children's and Families. And so did an advocate at the Women's Center because I know they're mandated reporters.
Right.
So I called them to be like, listen, she was like, I'm going to have, I said, absolutely, but I'm going to report it. Is that my next step? Like, because I know if I call the police, this is something bad's going to happen. I just knew it. I know how they are in the state. They don't care about kids or my kids will be with me. Plain and simple.
So how did she end up stuck there?
Well, he has custody of her.
But if she's saying that he abused her.
Because so when we reported it, the head lady reported it too at the same time to the same office.
before this had even happened, I talked to the Bristol County forensic investigator on child abuse. I forget her name. I have it written down. Her name might have been Natalie. I spoke to her first, but she's at the DA's office because the Bristol DA wanted me to do this display with them, right? So I'm like, fuck it. I'm using every card I have. I had called and she said, if DCF opens an investigation, we get involved. But if they don't, I can't. So DCF screened it out, meaning they decided there wasn't enough to investigate.
I
They didn't see a picture of what they wrote, nothing. They called him. That's it. Just him.
And so he's just not allowing you to see her.
Yeah. And it's
But
at his
legally you could
discretion.
see her.
Yeah, but the judge didn't look at that. She didn't like me because the GoFundMe, because it had to get cashed out early this time, paid just for the consultation, $350, and I had to pay $100 of my own money. I know a lawyer, right? She's big bucks. She's younger than me and owns her own practice. She's the head. It's Michaela McCush and Associates. She's Michaela. I know her from NA.
Okay.
Right. So I have a lot of connections that do nothing for me. I went and saw her and I wrote notes on what exactly to say. She told me exactly what to say, had all my files, could see it all. She was like, this is what you say, this is how you present it, and I'll represent you for $6,000. And I was like, it's an immediate thing I need funds for. And like, hold on. So stop that there. But before that, we cashed out early because I woke up, went to bed, woke up, and Taylor donated to it. And then there's a text from her like, I want my money back. They said they gave it back. They didn't, which is a lie. I don't mind giving for a good cause, but not a dodgy one. Now, she helped set this up. She knew I have videos of her at my court hearing on Zoom. Very much aware. I have emails. I have everything. She was so painfully aware. And her friend Anna, the victim of victimhood, had gone and said that she called and asked what's going on and wanted to be such a part of it. And I tell her that she'd go to the rest of the girls like Nina and them and say, it triggers me. I can't talk about it, but she would call me about it. So all this is happening at once. And I got female union flipping out because she's taking it personally, even though it wasn't even like, I don't care whose feelings were hurt in this. This is my daughter. I don't care. So it turned into they doxed her, whatever. I was just a casualty of them smearing her. I've never spoken to them again. So that's why I'm like, why would you bother doing a GoFundMe? Because people are so emotionally immature and sick. They don't care if I die.
So
they'll be the first
so
ones.
like
there's so much other shit that's going on now.
So even
you know
if
what I mean?
we were to do a call to action in this episode and did a big thing, like, and we're going to do a fun GoFundMe for a lawyer, then these fuckwads are going to
be
start
like, what
doing,
lawyer? They want proof that they're not.
They're going to all
to
start doing all their weird shit
Yeah.
and making up lies about you.
What are you going to say when they know I'm dealing with a murderer? So the only thing that should ever be said to people like that is, does that girl deserve to die? Right? Because of whatever is broken in you. Or once you give money, it's none of your business. You gave it. You don't get to know every fucking detail. You're giving a gift. It's like you're giving a blessing. And when you speak of the blessing you just gave, it's gone.
Right.
Like, so they're not doing it for good intentions. The reality is it needs to be out there. If you donate money to this, it's going to this. I'm in protection. I shouldn't have to share every motherfucking thing, but I do.
Right.
They didn't even talk about me. They would skip right over me. They'd be talking about everything else, these other people in spaces. And Robbie Travers is a part of it. He probably did their fucking hair. He's a gay, bitchy hairdresser that just hangs around like a fucking weirdo creep. Okay.
Is he a hairdresser?
It's fine. Just say that. We're just going to say he is. No, he's not. That's what he reminds me of. So, misinform at this point. We're misinforming because that's the thing to do.
Okay.
And that people don't understand as an adult. I don't give a shit what you say. I don't have to like everything you say. I like you. I have people they don't value your opinion. They want to hear your opinion come out of their mouth. Like their opinion come out of your mouth, if that makes sense. That's what it is. That's the only time they like you, is when you're mirroring what they say. And I'll never fit in because I don't take a knee because I'm not weak. I didn't bend the knee to a fucking psychopath. I'm not bending a knee to these fucking little bitches that don't even have guns where they are. Okay? They don't even have predators. They don't have coyotes. They have nothing. And you're going to lecture American women on what the fuck we're doing? Are you nuts? We got all these other things. I'm in a blue sanctuary state. Fuck your mom, bro. It's hard out here. Bitches are getting capped.
I know, because we
Yeah.
mirror California.
Yeah.
But California is fucking huge, and Massachusetts is this fucking big. It's the size of a pubic hair.
Well, I feel like Massachusetts is probably the size of LA, probably smaller, just LA
It's
alone.
so small. It's so
'Cause
small.
what do we have? 10 million people here.
I don't know what we have here. It's like a bunch of retards, if you ask me. But the reality is, it's like, and I keep bringing out the Karen Reed thing because it's happening. And they're going up against corruption, and they arrested today. And that makes me cry because I know the people that were witnesses, right? I know almost all of them. I know the police they're talking about. And I don't know the woman. I know that I believe what the fucking evidence says, and they just framed this girl. And like, it's the same county that I had issues with the probation officer that I wrote that like when she was like, "Sorry, I have so much cases." Bitch, oh, you do? Let's put it in on your fucking government email that people can have access to with the Freedom of Information Act. You're allowed to get that. And everything I put, it's what happened. You know what I mean? Like subpoenaing me. Just everything she did was so wrong. I sent it to you. I don't have it right here in my fuck. I wish I had it because it was such a good grievance. Like I reached out to everywhere. If you look back, and I'll send you some of the news clips or paper clippings, the people that are debating against victims of crime, like just women, they're women, right? Are the feminist organizations, Jane Doe Inc., right? Main one, debating us. So they're talking about survivors in the Commonwealth, victims of crime in the Commonwealth. We are them. And we're saying no. And people are like, well, Jane Doe said it. That's where we're at. It's like when I realized that's who we're debating, and I reached out to them and like was just trying to find out like what can we do that's not something that you think is smart. They're on Hulu documentaries. Deborah Robinson or Robbins, whatever her bald headed ass name is, no one cares. She's a fucking bitch and she can go fuck herself. And I stand by what I say. You don't have to edit that part out. Dude, but this is what it's about because I didn't know you and you didn't know me, right? We ended up in a space and like, I just think people know I'm not lying. Like, I'm not lying. I don't want to lie. I don't want to talk about this. I certainly don't want to be involved in it. I certainly don't want to go and be the only one up on a stage in front of the district attorney, like, bitches are dying, bro. We're dying. And then just look like it's hard. And I think that maybe sometimes my message puts people off. But the only reason I do this is because I have to. Like, you don't even have to do it loudly. But like, I literally look like one crazy loudmouth in the street, right? Just yelling, we're dying. I look like crazy. But when you have a lot of people behind you that are like, this is an issue, it looks like legitimate. You know what I mean? And people think you have to do. I could never do what you do. All you write emails, help me, show up with me, don't say a word. And there have been certain survivors that I had never met that came out to watch me roast a few senators, and she did. She smoked a blunt on the way, and she was ready to laugh. She told her story though. She ended up started telling them her story. After I roasted a few and we got removed from like their offices or whatever, she kind of loosened up a little bit. I'm like, they're not shit. They're all walking around thinking they're so important. They're not doing shit. They're just yuppies in a suit that have never been told their whole life that they're a failure and their mother hates them. So that's what we're here to do today. Get faith. And I know I don't care if that's politically correct because none of these girls are voting. First of all, I've been called a red pillar, which is fine. I don't even know what that means. It means nothing to me. I love America. I don't want us to get hurt. That's all I care about. I kind of was raised by guys, so I'm rough around the edges. I probably have misogynistic ways of thinking, but I also am adamant on us. No violence should be inflicted upon us for any reason. Not all men are bags of fucking dog shit. The problem is you can't tell which ones are or aren't. You're taking a risk every fucking time. And that's what people don't
absolutely.
get. You just got lucky. And how it's not on me to decipher, is this guy evil? He looks like an angel. He looks like a fucking angel sent from God. Gorgeous, like gorgeous. Doesn't matter what I felt. I'm still a person and I'm a good partner. So when I love somebody, I'm going to love them. I'm going to love them for their faults, especially being in, there's a lot of addicts around me. I had problems with pills. I understand certain ways, like people have criminal records, dude. Like I was around all felons growing up.
Right. It's kind of like someone expecting you to like, well, why don't you just date someone from the golf club?
Right.
Well,
Here's the
right.
thing.
Like,
I married somebody who was a Marine and he looked great on the outside, but I also had to leave him after he assaulted me and get divorced at a young age. So it doesn't matter. Women pull up right next to me in a Range Rover from their billionaire ex beating the piss out of them, and they don't get justice either. They get confused. One of my really good fucking best friends, she's way older, rich lady, lives her best life, is a little groupie, goes out and has her wine, right? I love her to death, drives a Range Rover. She's always like like people problems, and I'm just over here like, oh, you know what I mean? Like she like so, but
Yeah.
you know what? She respects me and I respect her. We don't always see eye to eye, but she knows and I know we got treated the same, and that's where we bond.
Mm,
That's where we bond, is like you get it on another level, but you shouldn't have to go through it to get it.
right.
Right? I'm not that girl that's like, believe her. I've said it, but it's like, believe her if she's like, I'm gonna die. Believe her. People don't just say that.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
most
and
of the
that's
time
why
we
it's
don't know it.
important for, I mean, I know that's why I don't have to tell you, but it's more for it because we know that there's going to be an audience eventually, but that's why
Yeah.
we're doing this, because it's important for
Mm.
everybody to know.
Oh my God. Why do I look like that today? I look very red.
Look at your eyes.
Don't I?
though.
I know, but I look like I was sunburnt, and really I just tried to put bronzer on because I was like, how do makeup? How do makeup on podcasts? You know, I literally am like a cave woman,
Well,
you
you
know?
should see me before. I'll send you a picture, but you'd have to
Oh,
promise to
please.
never publish it. But you should see what I
Oh,
look
I'm
like
publishing.
before
I'm
I do
doxing,
all
publishing,
this.
and I'm making a t-shirt, bitch.
It's one of my favorite things to do is send my friends like the most
Me too.
hideous
Like
fucking
hideous.
picture of me.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
it's good. I
someone
like
has to know. Someone has to
right.
know.
Well, you got to know what's going on behind this, you know. Mine,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I look better in person and when my jaw's not emaciated, but I'm doing this because like
Hey,
we have
let's
court coming.
let's talk about that for a second, because it's probably because my phone's listening to me and knows that I'm friends with you. But of course, something showed up on my feed the other day of a woman who put teeth in, a young, beautiful woman. And it's like,
Yeah.
I probably, if you had your bottom teeth and I saw you tomorrow and you
Yep.
were wearing a different outfit, I probably wouldn't recognize you.
No, it's like
It's
night and day.
crazy.
So it's like every day I wake up and I have to look in the mirror and I have to know it's not because of me. You know, it's like
Right.
there's no letting it go. I was like 98 pounds, dude. I lost so much weight I couldn't eat. Like you have to go in, it's mortifying going in for surgery. But not only that, like I have this daughter who I had nobody to watch her. Like, and I knew I'm going under. Who's gonna get her from school? I couldn't even, I was in so much pain. Like I've never been in so much pain in my life because they cracked it. They like cracked my jaw, like in the process of trying to get all the shards out of my jaw. And like, just like I know plenty of people that if you have teeth issues, everybody's sensitive about it, right? But when it's from an act that someone else did, like I can't even make an appointment. Like I just keep calling, like I need to, like whatever you're gonna do, I need it to happen. They wanted to make it so like I said, I'll kill myself. You don't even understand. Like people don't understand it. I get to listen to it and like it's embarrassing seeing my ex-husband. Like it's not my fault.
Right.
But it's like even if people didn't talk or say anything or notice, I notice. I don't even give a shit about anyone else. It's like, and I love myself.
Right.
I don't feel badly about who I am as a person. I know I'm a good mom, no matter what anybody says. I love my kids so much, would do whatever. I know I deserve to live a life free from fucking domestic terrorism and stalking. I know that I'm a really good friend and a good ally, and I deserve a seat at that fucking head of that table because I fight every fucking day when I'm going out in public and holding fucking signs. God forbid one of you girls get fucking convicted falsely of murder. Trust me, I would be out there across from the state police barracks where they're corrupt holding that sign. I would do it for you. And like, it's just like, sucks. Like, it sucks because I am who I am, whether you like me or not. Like, I still stick up and do what's right, or I'll apologize if I'm wrong. If something hurts my fucking feelings, I'll say it to you. I don't have time
for all this fucking noise that goes on. And I see Twitter and I see how powerful it is. And I see like things that happen. And it's like, I'm doing this because I don't want to die. When he gets released and he comes for me, and if I don't survive it, this is on the fucking record that somewhere that my kids will see it to know, like, I was like SOS. I've done everything. If I'm on a podcast talking about it, when there's an active trial, it's a need. It's a need. I don't know what I need. Like, I have nobody like that will help me honor my rights. I don't know how to maneuver through this. And the state doesn't represent me. It represents its case.
Right.
I'm a witness because my other two witnesses one overdosed and died. I told you this before. And the other one had diabetes, got pneumonia or something. She was like in her 20s. She died. My two witnesses. So it's literally just me having to go in there. They want to extract my phone records. And it's like, he's going to find out everything, where I am. He's going to find out who I've spoken to.
Well,
and that's not legal. But I don't have anybody doing shit for me.
let's say you got the heads up that he was leaving tomorrow. You would need a phone, a plane ticket, and a room, a bed.
Yeah.
That could probably be arranged.
Right. For two, though.
Yeah, you and your baby.
Mm-hmm.
How old is she?
5.
She's 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've moved. I don't even know. It's either, so in 4 years, we've moved 5 times. That's what it is. On top of like her going with me to a homeless shelter for a night. And there was a man there because men come in our spaces, even in 2018, 2019. And he started beating off next to me and my newborn, a few-day-old daughter. And I stepped on his fucking throat and wouldn't get my foot off of him. He was in a cot. I collapsed the cot underneath my foot and was just like, I'll fucking kill you. I'll kill you. They kicked me and the baby out.
This is a women's shelter?
This was I was like, had nowhere to go because he wasn't paying my mortgage.
Right.
And we had to like, they do it through like government, whatever. They put you in a van and take you somewhere. And they took us like hours away. And we got kicked out because I was violent. So that was my introduction to like, why are men here? Because I had donated stuff to the women's shelter that I knew was up the street from my house when I was married. I made my kids, we went and got the moms everything. Like, I spent so much money of my ex-husband's, and we didn't get the kids anything. They get tons of shit, the kids that were there with them. We only got the mom stuff. So the moms were all cream bound and were like this. And I made my son, I have my daughter, and then my niece come with me to bring it to see how lucky you are. This could be you. And it was me. Years later, there was no men in there at that time. And those women were not happy. They don't get treated good in there. It's not a great place to be to begin with. But to have to worry about men next to your newborn daughter, she must have been it must have been December, January of 20. I don't even know. She was 30 days old when the stuff happened with her dad. We were a hostage. She was like a baby newborn. Like, I was still bleeding. Like, I haven't had it fucking easy. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want a lot. I don't want fame. I want nothing, dude. I don't want fucking followers. I don't care. I'm just saying, like, I'm telling people publicly, like, I have enough documented evidence, like, he's gonna kill me. There's no way around it. Like, the state's not protecting me. Everybody thinks common sense things and gives advice based off of what you would think would work. There's nothing. If I'm here, there's nothing. I've called them all. It's been years of me just doing this. Healing. I've had brain bleeds. I've had concussions throughout the years from it. Like, he's not like an ex that we dated. I haven't been with him her whole life. Her whole life. People don't think that. It's like an ex-boyfriend. I don't know this man. I don't know who he is. He's not who I thought he was. And like, to have to like have sex with him and shit, it's like, people don't understand. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to live like this. I'm worried. Like, he knows, like, I just cooperated to the fullest to get him put away. And I tried not cooperating, but what happens is he escalates shit. Like, I could not see him for a very long time or hear anything because I never poked the bear. I don't contact his family because his family is like, David wants to talk to you. How's the baby? So it's never like I could talk to his family because they're the bridge. Unfortunately, like, they're just a bunch of women too, sick women. So it's like, and I live, you know, it's like I got guys in my family that are just like, come on, let them come in now, let them come. And it's like, that doesn't do me any good. You're old and diabetic and fat and have hearing fucking aids. You're not hearing shit. So settle down. That doesn't make me feel.
That's your dad?
All of them, my uncles too, like just idiotic. Like, you're in Florida running. You know what I mean? Like, what are you guys doing? None of you can help me. My other uncle just had like a transplant. Like, he was on dialysis. Like, what are you gonna do? You were on dialysis, bro. You just handle your shit, your liver, whatever the fuck he's got, kidney, whatever you get. But like, people saying that belittles the shit I've had to go through because nobody was there. Nobody but me, or me and my baby. And I fought it every step of the way. All the times I've called the police, imagine how many times I didn't, because I wasn't someone who was grown up with that's a good thing to do. You mind your fucking business. Eyes on your own paper. It don't involve yourself in shit. You didn't hear shit. You don't know shit.
Yeah.
Period. So for me to call I was in desperate need of like, I don't even know what to say. And then I wouldn't cooperate. I just want the threat to stop and then hope I could keep myself safe. Restraining orders don't help with me, but I would never tell someone not to get one, because sometimes you have to, because you don't know what else to do, because if you don't get one and they keep coming to your house, they'll
You
just
need
tell them to
documentation.
leave. Yeah. And they can arrest them then if they choose to, whatever they choose to do. But like, it's like a red flag to my ex. Like, I do that to him and he hears like, oh, you want me in prison. Like, that's it. Fuck you. Who do you think you are? Like, to have a GPS on your ankle at one point and the only place he can't go is my house. His only restriction was my house. And he was like riding around and they caught him. He was seeing how close he could get and they caught him and was like, going to issue a warrant for you to turn around. He's like, you know, this bitch is really taking advantage of this restraining order. Like, this is who I'm dealing with. Like, you're my girlfriend, even when we're not together. You're still like, I should be able to move on if I wanted to date. I should be able to do that happily. I'm not allowed to. Someone's restricting my right to do anything. Like, I try not to even hang out around men because I feel like I don't want to put them at any risk, and I don't know if they're connected to them.
Are you allowed to leave the state with your kid?
Yeah, but I'd have to leave 2 of them behind.
Right.
And that's what's kept me here. Is like, this motherfucker doesn't even have a license, but he'll steal a car. And I don't know how to think like him. I'm trying. But like, he's another level of like, I dissect everything, all the records I have. It's all, I can't think of anything else because I need to figure out the maze I'm in. For me to be in that situation, and I have to help the other women that are around me, because the people that are getting paid to do it are not doing it. Not going to court with women, not informing us of our rights, any of it. And it matters, dude. It matters. Like, I've been on one since I found out what my rights were just as a victim of crime. Like, chapter 3B, fucking, I'll spit shit off. I've done it. Not even the right one, no, too. And they're like, she knows what she's talking about. It's like, they don't even, they don't. They're just lost. And like, you don't have to be loud. Dude, you just have to trust that, like, I got your back. Dude, no matter what, I got your back. You know, they don't have our back. Like, they're not coming with us when these men have to come and pick up their belongings with police escorts. We need to have advocates there with us during that situation. I won't know things because I have 4 advocates that do nothing. Nothing. And trust me, I give them credit even when they don't deserve it. Stroking their narcissistic egos.
And I'm sitting here thinking, oh, well, like, the women in your group should get together and you guys could escort each other. And I'm sure sometimes you do, like you said, you go to court with people, but like, some of you have to work. All the time
we do it. None of us can work. None of us can. I lost my job over this. Like,
you know what? By the way, I'm really glad that you just brought that up, because when we first recorded and we sat down, you started talking about that and you lit up, because, you know, I've gone and edited part of it, and you were doing your little thing and like, not to brag, and I fucking interrupted you. And like,
Oh my God. What
Seeing
I say
that,
about myself. Yeah.
you were just really proud of yourself and your job, and you were about to dive into it. And I don't know why the fuck I felt the need to interrupt you in
I
that
don't
moment.
know.
And it
I've
was
had so
so
many jobs.
cute. And
Oh,
you were just
but you know what?
so, I feel like
Stoned.
shit. So I'm
Blame the weed.
sorry.
Blame, bitch. I don't know. I've been like, everything's straight. Like I was getting off. I was like, she's so cool every time. So
Well, but I want you
went
to
right
tell
over.
me about that job. So you got a job working to help you were working with addicts or something? What was the
Oh,
job
that
that
was
you had?
before. Oh yeah. That was
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like the top. Yeah. So I worked at it's like Gosnold on Cape Cod, and it's like a bougie. They had a chef. I knew her name. Her name was Mo. She died, rest in peace, but she was sick. She hooked it up. Your girl's ass was fat working there. But I was just like the recovery aide, and you saw a lot of death. You got lied to, like time after time. I'd have people that I hadn't seen since I was young, and we're both on the Cape, not from the Cape, and like they come in on a fed bed, like federally restricted there, and knowing them, like I have love for so many different people, and I know people everywhere, and it's like I loved that job, but it broke my heart. So I ended up like I didn't want to work in that thing anymore because my ex is an addict. So if I broke up with him, my stalker, he'd come in he'd come into the detox. And like I had him come in a few different times. He knew I worked an overnight on Monday, so we'd get dropped off there. And like you have to take him, and then I wouldn't be able to work. Like there was no escaping him. There was no escaping him.
My God.
I worked after that. I worked when I was pregnant with my youngest. I worked in an all male facility as like a recovery aide, but you're working with guys getting the halfway house. They're locked in. So like they get to go out and mingle and shit, but they got to be in at a certain time to check in. I get their meds, and it was all men coming from prison, all of them. I was the only person working. There was like, I think it was 22 different men, and I was the only female working. I was pregnant, and I'd be like, "Bitch, what the fuck are you looking at, bitch?" Like they like loved me. I didn't have any problems. They were so good. I've worked as a recovery aide in a female psych place. That was I didn't last long. I was like, these bitches are gonna kill me. I can't be here. Help. So they transferred me to the guys ones, but they were all child molesters.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be fun. I'm a female working. I'm like, Brad, shower. Like I was like, I couldn't work there for long either. So and I've done a lot of things. That was like the most fulfilling besides when I go and I help a woman. I don't even like to say an advocate. I don't like that word. I don't like accountability. I don't like any of the trending words that you use because they get so overused without any action. So it's like they state these things, but they don't do anything beyond making those statements. Like there's nothing going on. So it's like your actions and words aren't matching up. And I'm the girl that's like, okay, well, I'm getting services through you. You're trying to tell us, give us these groups who are like, oh, narcissistic, like fuck you, teach us the solutions. And that's how I was like, kick that door in. Was like, okay, will you help me do the display? And they're like, nope, not. Well, we do something in October? I'm like, well, we're gonna die. There's a rampant amount of women dying in our area, and I'd be triggered telling them like, I know I'm gonna die like this. These women died horrific fucking deaths. Okay, like horrific. These kids. I don't want to know that. Why am I having to know this? That bothers me because no one's doing their job. So I'm going to do it for them and tell them I'm coming for your fucking job. You're going to get in trouble. I don't know how yet, but you're going to get in trouble because I'm watching what they're doing. A woman's already died that was involved. That got shot in the face. Like,
It's amazing that these crimes aren't enough to keep these guys behind bars.
No, they get let out. Most of them have restraining orders on them.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you think that it would be different if he wasn't white?
No.
No. It's the same.
It's the same. They might have incarcerated individuals have an awful lot of advocacy on their side. They have a law library. They already know the law. I don't care if you're in there for drugs, if you're in there for other shit, dude, that's none of my business, right? If you're in there for not honoring what a judge says to you because a woman wants space, right? You deserve to be where the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. You need a timeout till you get right.
because no means no. And like, it's not just like a criminal mindset, it's just an entitlement. And the thing is like women are getting hacked up, set on fire, and locked in a bathroom so they can burn to death. And she didn't even die for 2 fucking weeks, this lady. You know what I mean? Yes, yes, yes. Things that like I can't unsee.
Mhm.
Like getting let out on bail. Like my ex has bail. They just said cash. So like you cannot get out if you pay. So say Massachusetts, your bail could get set to 20 grand. If
Mhm.
he was like, if I don't remember the term, but if basically if he's like, you can pay 30% of that. So they're out. It might sound like a big amount, but they said cash bail, you can't. So he has to pay 30 grand or something like that to get out. Cash. Not no more, no less. Like that's what he's got to pay. So he's not getting out. And it's the only reason he's held is because I've screamed. I've fucking screamed. You're not doing your job. But that's me having to figure it out. Who's
Yeah.
not doing their job? Who signed a policy while like becoming a parole officer, probation officer? What are their ethical guidelines and policies that you had to sign to even do that for you? That's the fucking mental case I was like, I'm finding out what they did for everything. What's their responsibility? And it's very fucking hard to find that shit out when your brain's not correctly working on top of like, so I'm just like, you know what? There's women out there that are in powerful positions that are in my tool belt. They do just what they're supposed to do, even though like the number one thing is I'll never be anybody prominent where I am because I'll tell you what you're not doing. And nobody wants to hear they're not doing a good job. I don't care about your coworkers' fucking vibe, dude, if we're dying. All because nobody's doing anything. And this money, I hit all the boxes. I have proof. I have all this shit. I should be protected. I'm protected by the top law enforcement. But cops don't know what the program is. Advocates don't know what the program is. Schools don't know what the program is. So what good is the fucking program if I'm not a lawyer and don't really know the rules either?
Right.
It makes
So then
you
there's
crazy.
no program. It's
You just got a card.
gaslighting.
You got a card and they give you a PO box. Thanks, homie. Like you just signed this many grants, right? You can find out certain things. That's what I don't know how to find out. I don't know how to find out because I need to know what the percentage of the increase in the violations was since these new calls. That's
Right.
data you can get. I don't know how to get it. That's the shit I need help with because it helps me put pieces to the puzzle. So when I go, because I can get an interview. You bet your ass, girl. I've been on Fox 25. I've been on Channel 7. I've been in the newspapers because I won't fucking stop. And I use it like, so you're talking about domestic violence victims, but I'm reaching out to you and you don't want to talk to me and I'm going to die. So that's on you because this is all documented type shit. That's how you do it. You fucking corner them and threaten them. Like, blood's on your hands. You know,
Yeah. Enjoy.
on you, bitch. I'm just asking not to die. Whether you
Mhm.
fucking think I'm ugly, pretty, vulgar, fucking retarded, whatever you think, does that mean I should die? Just say it to me then. Just say kill yourself. Because people are cowards.
Yeah.
And I'm really sick of everyone talking about women's rights. Women's fucking rights. And I'm like, I'm dying. So they want to gloss over that and talk about all these things that to stroke their own egos. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. We got to work with men. Oh my God, I said it. Strip me of my badge. Fuck you. We got to work with men. We got to
Yeah.
get over your fucking selves. Straight women, lesbian women, get over yourselves. We got to work with each other. Fucking misogynistic pigs, get over yourselves. We got to work together. But the bullshit, like the bullying and all that, I don't fucking care about. I like a person for who they are. You're not going to tell me what to think or who to talk to or how to say it or when to say it. Because if I did that, nothing gets done. I'm a
Yeah,
kick your door
exactly.
in type of bitch. I wasn't raised the same way they were. Clearly, you don't know my culture. You don't know where I come from. We're rough around the edges, honey. And this is me being like nice. We
Yeah.
all just talk aggressively to each other. I don't have time for people's feelings being, oh my God, I don't go to therapy then. I don't know, bitch. Work it out. I'm
Yeah.
in a fight or flight. Where the fuck are you at? What did you do today? Did you have to worry about keeping yourself alive for your daughter? Did you have to worry about keeping her alive? Do you have to worry about fucking learning law when it's like you got half a brain and I can't, it's like my face aches, dude. It's not healed. It happened in 2021. It's not healed. It's a whole process I have to go back through. And like, I don't look like this. I look in the mirror and I'm like, this isn't even who I am.
Yeah.
It was overnight. Like once I got, and I had to pay for my own surgery. They reimbursed me, but I had to prove I was a victim. The dentist is like, yeah, this is from a dude bashing her fucking face in. And like, you still get not believed. It's just a joke. They want you to go die quietly somewhere, unseen and unheard. And like, I don't do that. And I'm never going to do that. And like, I've escaped death so many times, dude. Like, I read these reports of what happened and I'm like, holy fucking shit. I can't even believe I get flashes of it sometimes, like me running or something like that. And it's like, whoa, like, I don't want this man to go to prison. I was in love with him for years. Like, my heart still hurts without him because I'm learning, you know? I want him to be a dad. I want him to help me. It's hard raising a daughter
Right.
when she's like, I need a daddy. Like, what? Can't bring another guy in because who knows if he's secretly got this fetish shit and will fuck around with my kid. Like, I got so much other shit going on. I'm unprotected in all angles. Like, guys don't just step up because if they did, none of this shit would have happened past a certain point. They don't.
Yeah.
People know he's dangerous and they stay away. They don't want a problem. And anyone that's ever stayed at my house so that he didn't break in, they were fucking so strong. And like, I'll never forget that. Like, as long as I live, women that would let me stay there knowing he had a tracker, you know, but
Mhm.
being like, I'll fucking stab him if he comes in my motherfucking house, you know, like anyone that helped protect me, someone that got it, you know, whether it happened to them or not, they understood. Like, I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I don't want to do podcasts with my face looking different. Like, I don't even watch it. Like, I don't even watch it. I make myself sick regardless, you know, it's not fair. So much going on at once. And like, if I can be this emotionally mature that I see the bigger fucking picture, even with another woman, I should just be worried about my shit, but I'm not because like I know what it's like to not have somebody. So I want to be that person I wish that was there for me, you know, and it's still going on years later. He's not even an ex, dude, is how I feel. He's a nightmare that like in my mind, it's like, wouldn't he go away by now? Like, what the fuck? It's an annoyance on top of scary because then I got to just act like we're together, which makes me want to throw up and like hurts my brain, the stress on it. It's like, I can't handle it, dude. I can't handle it.
You have
And
to act like
honestly,
you're together for him.
yeah, because I don't know how else I'll act. Like, and
Right.
it's bizarre. No, I'm not all the time. I'm usually like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't take that past a certain point. You know what I mean? He's there. He's coming in. We're
Because he'll get
talking.
mad. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God. And he does
So,
it with our daughter there. Right. Like
right.
wide awake.
You can
Like,
either
hi.
make it worse or you can just deal with whatever's
Yeah.
coming, but you can't
And
make
like,
it better.
right. Right. And the only
Right.
thing is like, I have to convince him that there's still love for him. He's still got a shot.
You know, I have to tell you something. Did you watch the Cherie Curry episode?
No,
Cherie Curry was kidnapped.
I watched maybe a part. I think I saw a clip of it, maybe actually.
So she was kidnapped by a serial killer and she survived because he kept saying things to her like that they were together. And she's like, homeboy's not all there.
You
Like
just got to do
he
it.
doesn't get
You
it.
got to do it.
So she pretended like, oh yeah, you're right. And we're gonna run away together. And I need you to
Holding his
take me to
hand,
my friend's
holding his
house.
hand. Yep, holding his hand with your hand on his leg, and my ex has knives. He
And
has
that's how she
knives on
fucking
him.
escaped. He dropped her off at her friend's house and she's like, I'll be right back. And obviously they called the cops and
I've
didn't
made
go
him
back. It's
breakfast. I've made
different,
it.
but
Yeah, no, but it's the
whoa.
same mentality because you know what? This isn't somebody I'm still comfortable with. This is somebody who's tried to kill me. It's like
Yeah.
someone that like if your uncle ever touched you and him just showing up and coming in your room. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like it's like you can't react. Like sometimes it's like you fucking bitch, especially you calling the cops on him because he can be calm as shit and then just strike. And he knows that I'm stressed out because our daughter's right there. So he knows what to say, him throwing her across the room.
So can I just spell something out for the audience? Because it's been referenced a few times, but when you say that you have to sleep with him, that's another, like, that's what we're talking about. If you don't,
Yeah.
it will be worse.
I mean, if he wants to, yeah, I gotta it's like I think we've always have every time he's broken in throughout the years of him being with another girl, having another baby on top of 2 other kids. It's not like we're in touch. Like he'll go to jail. I don't know he went to jail until somebody hits me up. Dave's in jail. He's about to be released. You know what I mean? Like, what size is a baby for sneakers? What does she need? And I'm like, tell him to go kill himself. That would be great if you could just tell him that. Right? Like, I've said horrible shit. I've not answered. It doesn't matter. If he knows where I am, it's not hard. Clearly, like he would track me places and show up in stores, and then I got to bring him in the car. And I'm always with his kid. Before I was pregnant with his kid, throughout my pregnancy, I tried. Like I think it was gonna work, and then he'd steal the car and not come home. He's meeting women, having sex with random women on the internet that I'm getting just like soul shattering stuff where it was like just, and he had done so much already to me, but like being pregnant, I had already left him so many times. It got to the point that I was like, fuck it, I'm with him. I don't really know what else to do at this point, but be with him because he's not getting the hint. And then no one's around me. And it just looks like I'm constantly taking him back, but I don't have a choice. He won't stay away. I'd rather have him in the house already than breaking in. And either way, the threat's there, right? But it's less of a like he basically wants me to just let him take the car, go do whatever he wants, sleep with him, make his food, keep a clean house, not do anything that offends him on talking to his kid. Like he's just not there. He's not there. I'm talking to somebody he doesn't have remorse. He could justify anything in his head. Even when I'd be like, but that's not true. Right? Like, you're aware that's not a thing. So he would be aware of it. Like, yeah, I know. But like, I don't know how to like rationalize it to people. It's just not
Well,
healthy
it's
to be
about
doing for this many years.
ultimate control.
Yeah, it is, but he just is that psycho that will kill you. Because in his mind, like he beat me up for cheating when I wasn't cheating. He beat me up for a gay guy. My friend Jamie that died, he was like, you fucked him. He went after him. Jamie's like, I'm gay. You know what I mean? Just like shit. I'd go with my friends and he'd be, what are you, a dyke? I'm like, yeah, wicked. Me and my friends are wicked dykes. You know what I mean? Just like anything I did. I don't want to be dealing with this. I don't want to see him in court. I just want him to go away. He doesn't want to be there for his kid, no matter what he says, because he's not. He could have been. He's not.
Right.
I've co-parented for years with 2 extremely hard people to co-parent with grace, might I add. I just think everyone just gotta like care.
Yeah.
Like somebody, what the fuck? This is not a way to live.
No. So what's the next step? When are you going to court next? What's anything?
The
What's on the
2nd of July, and it's like I don't know, another discovery phase. It's like should be the end,
will he
and
be
then
there?
trial. No, they waived his
No.
appearance, but I go to every fucking one of them.
And then there'll
Everyone
be
I've
a
been to.
trial.
Yeah, then that's when they call me as a witness and rip me apart on the stand and make me look like I deserved a beating. Yeah. And then a jury of idiots will say guilty or not guilty. But these are the same peers of mine that said he wasn't guilty for a murder he committed. So I don't really have faith in the justice system,
What's
It's just
the
like how far
What's the turnaround time on when would a trial start?
it's already started. We're in it. He got indicted.
Okay,
So now we're in the discovery where they're getting evidence and shit like that.
I see.
Yep. We've been in it because it went from criminal district court to superior court. Yeah. This is what it is, Mel. You know, I just keep going with emotions. It's like, how much do I put myself through? I gotta shut this. How much do I put myself through it? You know, do I
Mhm.
just say, take a plea just so I'm done with it? Because I'm in danger. Every court hearing, I'm in danger. Like, it brings everything back up. I just want to be safe, and I don't know how to do that. And the people that get money to tell me how to do that don't do it. I've asked them. I don't know how you're gonna wrap it up, but I'm sure you can wrap it up any way you want. You do pretty good editing. I think you should toot your own horn on that.
Oh, thanks.
Even your clips. Oh, are you all right? Did you want to go longer?
Oh,
Is
no,
it all
I'm
right?
fine. No, I'm totally fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
have like
And
you have like a light yellow all around you.
oh,
It's really pretty.
oh,
Yep. I don't know
thanks.
what that means, but that's what you got.
I'm gonna Google it.
Thank you for this. I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
That's how I look.
Gorgeous. Yeah. All right. Well,
Gorgeous.
I'll be in touch. And if I have any questions about like the stuff you've sent me, I'll let you know.
All right, honey bunch. Talk later.
All right.